fucking professional. Yo, goddamn it. You're muted, what? And daring, it's iconic. Cheese breaks, fade breaks, staying hydrated. It's shorty time. She's a fucking delight. Trial watching, trials and tribulations. It's Camp Shorty calling all nations. What are you drinking? Shall we skip this part? Left or right-handed? Shit, she slid it to the start. She's a fucking professional. Yo, goddamn it. You're muted, what? And daring, it's iconic. Cheese breaks, fade breaks, staying hydrated. It's shorty time. She's a fucking delight. Psychology corner. Let's learn about stuff. New Miss Shorty music. Calling their bluff. Best chat, best community. We've got the best mods. A safe, supportive sanctuary full of fun and love. Rock out with your cats out. Curse all you want. And here at Camp Shorty, we even say God. She's a fucking professional. Yo, goddamn it. You're muted, what? And daring, it's iconic. Cheese breaks, fade breaks, staying hydrated. It's shorty time. She's a fucking delight. Hey, shorties, what's going, y'all? Get in here, shorties. Let's fucking go. Camp Shorty. Camp Shorty. Camp Shorty. Camp Shorty.
Hi, I forgot to put myself on the stage. Hi, shorties. It's like, hi, good to see you. Who's here? I see Ahims is in the house. Lovely. Hi, gorgeous. Good to see you. Motion to screen. What the fuck? Granted, ma'am. Lulybell, lovely, lovely, lovely. Prince is here. Poppy's here, of course. Matilda's here. Matilda, this could be the stream where your eyes are opened. I feel like many of us in the Camp Shorty community, Poppy, are either late diagnosed, self-diagnosed, or after today, eyes opened, Poppy and Buster, neurodivergent, autistic. It's an absolute life-changing revelation, trust me. We all click, I think, because we are in the same tribe. Hi, Colours. How's Bubby? Okay. Steph's here. Yes. Did I say hi, Princey? My pleasure, Imza. I spent last night, or a couple of hours last night, queuing up some videos, and wow, I had some real contemplative moments. For me, there's some vindication and validation in this. Even for me, 5 years on, I was a ship sailing out in the ocean, alone in the dark, with no sail, no paddle, no oar, no motor, no maps, no compass. And my revelation that I was in fact autistic, not weird, there was nothing wrong with my brain, changed my whole life. It's my birth, it's my rebirth. You never know, Holly. You never know, Holly. You never know, Holly. Poppy, are you autistic? She goes, fuck yeah, and ADHD. Hard yes. Poppy is my spirit animal. Aren't you? I don't pant as much as she does, though. Hi, Nick. Nick, welcome. This will help a lot of you if you're not a woman or you're not, if you don't identify, and if this doesn't resonate with you personally, for example, Nick, although we'll see, it may well be that someone in your life, you might have an aha moment on their behalf, and it might help them to on a pathway of self-discovery. It might help you better understand those people. Poppy, I understand you, and you just love love. She just loves love. She loves love. Don't lick me. Don't lick me. I love love without the licking from dogs or humans. Poppy. So yes, Orion Kelly does have some good stuff. I have got one of his things queued up. I have a feeling I've been very ambitious with how much I've got to cover here. We'll probably will do a part 2 because there is so much good stuff out there. Like, I was washing the dishes because my dishwasher's broken, and but I'm on top of my dishes. Yes. And it was there was some somber times for me watching and listening to what we're going to watch tonight. I've linked them all in the description box already. So whatever we don't get to, these are the things I was ambitiously hoping to get to. So feel free to watch them over again, or excuse me, I got to clear my throat. Wait. I'm going to blame the killer cheese on that one. Thanks, Joey. Joey sent me cheese from the States. So cute. If you missed it, it's in the last live. Yikes. Also, Camp Shorty, Miss Shorty merch. Love. So there is an Orion Kelly video queued up and ready to go, but I have about like 7 videos ready to go. They're only short-ish, but you know me, I talk a bit, right? So let me just get them. Oh my God, Father, they start playing in my earballs. Let me get them into order because so many tabs. Intentionally so many tabs. It's just how we roll here. It's iconic. So watch me walk and talk chat, including a funny one, which I haven't watched all of because I was time poor, not surprisingly. A couple of ladies about our age, talking, British ladies talking about their self-discovery journey. So perhaps you have children who are being, who you're looking for a diagnosis for your children. That often is the way that adult women in particular have that light bulb moment where they realize that, oh, my children or child is autistic or neurodivergent. Jason's back, yes, and so that finding out that their child is likely is diagnosed or likely neurodivergent, and that encompasses so many things. But I guess most commonly understood or known is that autistic and ADHD or ADD. There are 7 different types of ADHD of ADD. ADHD, ADD being the inattentive version of ADHD. So this will help some of you understand me even better if you're just along for the ride. These are, and yourself, and even as much as I know from my research and my lived experience, there was some of the stuff we're going to watch. Like I was like, oh wow, to have somebody else articulate it and put it into sort of seven characteristic traits, 16. And some of the diagnostic barriers for some people as an adult, including masking. Shall we start on the first video? And interestingly, it's not Orion, but it is an Australian guy. No, not that one. God damn it. So many tabs. Fuck. This right here is the epitome of my brain. Let me see if I can find it. It's this one, 7. So also I have a nose whistle. Love that for us. I did break my nose a couple of weeks ago. Fantastic. And then I had a coughing fit 2 nights ago because my vapes were running out, and vapes are good for you. So obviously what I needed to do was get new vapes, not quit vaping. So I coughed for 2 hours straight and it re-broke my nose again. And I have a deviated septum now, and I have an almost permanent nose whistle. You're welcome. I love it for us. Sorry if the mic picks it up. I'll try not to breathe. Okay, so this guy, he's Australian. He has 389 subscribers, including me. The channel is called Autism from the Inside. And this is good because it's a very, well, let's just watch it. It's only it's 15 minutes long. Lovely. Love.
Undiagnosed autism in adults is a lot more common than most people think. If you look at diagnosis rates of children these days, you'll see that statistically there's one or more autistic children in every classroom. And no, it's not an epidemic. We've been here all along. You just need to know what to look for. So in this video, we'll go through some of the things you can look out for to spot autism in adults who, if they were children today, would be getting picked up and diagnosed by the system.
Wait. Pausing, because you know me. We're not even into the body of the video, and here's me pausing. I did tell you a story, was it last week, about someone, an offensive, he was a horrible person, but he said to me, one of the first things he said to me when we met in person was, have you ever been diagnosed as being autistic? Because, and I'm like, sir, how dare you? I am not autistic. Lol. About a year and a half later, I'm like, fuck, I'm so autistic. And in the merch store, yes, the merch store, we have a merch, like a design that says autistic as fuck. And it's got the text coming out of the box because, yes, we're not in the box. I wouldn't change a thing. I love my neurodivergent brain. It grinds my gears rather hard sometimes. But these videos are going to give you a whole lot of validation or some light bulb moments. Let's do it. Let's do it. Changing the format, though, slightly. I made it bigger, but not as big as it was. Just hang on, shut up. Just play the video. God, play the video. Yikes.
Hi everyone, Paul
Hi.
Micallef here from Autism from the Inside. I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest content.
Yes.
One of the things that often prevents us from noticing autism in adults is an over-reliance on our own stereotypes. So we know that autism comes in all shapes and sizes, which means, ironically, if you're looking for one thing or even a small number of different stereotypes, that will likely blind you to some other signs that might be obvious in hindsight. So today I'll go through 7 signs, or perhaps more accurately, 7 areas of where to look for common signs of autism. We'll go through social interaction, a need for structure, sensory sensitivities, spiky skill sets, meltdowns, shutdowns, and withdrawals, unusual associations, and finally...
Pausing, sorry, dirty pause. I can't remember whether it's this guy or mom on the spectrum, Taylor, who's next, and 2 videos from her. But this is not a definitive list, right? So some of these might resonate with you or with someone, about someone you know, very, very strongly. Some of them might not. I've also put in the description box 2 online quizzy things, whether if you want to, if this makes you go, I think I might look into this. And we are a tribe. Being autistic, like Orion Kelly spoke of last week, can be quite the disability at times in a very holistic or neurotypical world. But at the same time, when you're around people who understand you and understand what it means to be neurodivergent, things are a lot easier. Like, life, friends are life. My tribe is my life. You guys are my life. We're all autistic, I swear to God. Let's go.
Finally, in some ways, the simplest yet most powerful one that I'll save until the end.
Piney! Hi, darling. Good to see you.
So let's jump straight into it. The first area, the first sign of undiagnosed autism can be found in social interactions. Now, in general, the important thing with all of these is a difference from mainstream population, but there are several differences in this area that tend to be expressed in a very similar way. If I find it difficult to intuitively understand my peers, difficult to conform, difficult to know what to do socially, that often ends up in the whole social interaction process being very draining.
Agreed, strongly agree. I'm just going to say, this is obviously, he's a man. We're going to watch from a few different creators, YouTube channels, Mom on the Spectrum, this guy, Orion, if we get to it, masking and hyper focus on social stuff means that particularly I think women actually we're over aware of what we should be doing socially. But at my age, I'm like, this is how I am. And like, wouldn't change a thing. So remember, this is from a male perspective. And anyway, carry on. Shut up.
I'm thinking about it too much. I'm trying too hard. I'm trying to manually process all of these thousands of tiny little social cues. I'm often not doing a fantastic job, and it's not always a fun process. So that may lead me to avoid social interactions. It may lead me to like to spend a lot of time by myself. It may lead me to appear to be awkward in social situations, or it may lead me to just ditch the whole trying to be like everyone else altogether and come across as quite eccentric. All of these are signs pointing to a similar thing, namely that it's difficult to fit in, and doing what everyone else is doing in the same way that everyone else is doing it is a challenge.
Facts. Think back to high school, the theatre kids, the goth kids, the band kids, the weird kids. Like, guarantee you, those kids are all neurodivergent as adults. And me, I was not really any of those things, but I used to wear like all op shop and home clothes I made and designed myself, my own patterns. I always had different hair color. I was always like, at the time, listen, sometimes I just can't shut up. Maybe I should just talk instead of watching videos.
Number 2 is a need for structure and routine. And ironically, whether you see someone who is very structured, very routine oriented, seemingly quite inflexible, or the opposite, coming across as chaotic and disorganized, they are often two sides of the same coin. One of the reasons I need stability and routine and security is because I am so flexible. If I don't have a script prepared socially, I could say literally anything.
And I do.
A lot of those options are suboptimal. So to help me cut down on that executive function, I make a decision in advance. This is what I'm going to say. This is how I am commonly going to answer the same question if I can predict it in advance. A need for structure will often come across as a person who likes to do things their own way and who really resists conforming to the status quo, especially if there doesn't seem to be a good reason as to why I have to do things the way other people are doing them. And all of these outward signs are effectively pointing towards internal executive function challenges. What you're seeing are my coping mechanisms that allow me to work and get stuff done. And if you take them away, if you interrupt me or disrupt my routine or throw in too many unknowns, then I won't be able to concentrate. I won't be able to prioritize. I won't be able to organize my almost infinitely chaotic brain. And suddenly I'll flip from being super organized to super disorganized.
Pause. My work, I have to go to a site, a job site, and set up signs, right? I thrive in running a site that's the same site every day for months, with the same signs set up, with the same routine, with the same crew. When I have to go into, like, occasionally, I've been doing that for 2 years, praise the Lord. When I have to, and with the same offsider, same, love, 10, not chaotic. When I have to go to a site that I'm not familiar with, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing traffic control for 2.5 years. I'm fucking good at it. But if I have to go to a site that I'm not familiar with, and or the shock and horror with an offsider, like my helper, that I'm not working with all the time, the word chaotic has been used to describe me in a fond, endearing way. But people at my company think I'm an idiot because I come across as chaotic, hectic, and scattered and out of my depth in those situations. I'm very good at my job, but I'm best at my job when I feel more comfortable, I feel calm because I know what's coming. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's keep going.
So that's why both those extremes are essentially two sides of the same coin.
Hi, Alice. Good to see
The
you.
third sign of undiagnosed autism in adults is sensory sensitivity, and equally importantly, sensory insensitivity. Now, when people say this, most of the time people are thinking of light and sound and funny tastes and textures and
pausing. Colors. these are like some big block things. There may be some stuff in the next couple that might resonate with you. And I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a doctor. I very firmly believe, Colours, that you are neurodivergent, and I love it. I'm waiting for you to have that light bulb moment. I do feel like, and again, I'm not diagnosing you, and please don't take offense, and I don't think you will, because you don't take offense to anything. I feel like this baby's going, what the fuck is she saying? I feel like maybe some of the trauma in your life and your need to compartmentalize and just get shit done means that you're very well walled off to things, and that's kind of masking. But I could be wrong. I love you.
Smells and things like that. But sensory is actually a lot more than that. It includes things like pain tolerance, temperature regulation, coordination. That one confused me for a while back when I was first
Hi,
researching
Steph.
autism.
Good to
How
see
is
you.
being clumsy an autistic trait that a lot of children have? And the answer is it's a sensory sensitivity. If I can't feel where my limbs are in space, I'm more likely to accidentally bump into things and knock.
Chat. Who, like, my God, the number of times I run into door jams, my hips into edges of tables, like I fall over all the way over at work. I haven't done it for a while. I almost did this week. Lol, hilarious. I just jump up. I'm like, I'm fine. When I was extraordinarily stressed a few weeks ago, what day was it? Amber might remember. It was recently. I was so dissociated. So my perception of my body was so far gone that every movement, every walk, every step that I took, every word that I said, I was so aware of it, but everything felt disjointed and weird. It was dissociation, but I think it's to do with my brain.
Knock things over. If I really like deep pressure, I'm likely to hug people too hard because I don't realize that they don't like it. So the question with all of these is, how far do you fall outside the norm?
Wait.
Some people are a little bit sensitive to smell. Some people have
Me, the Colours, I can cope in any situation, like anywhere with any kind of person, a guy that just got out of jail through to I've spoken and sat down with the Prince of Saudi Arabia. I can comfortably, it seems comfortable. I can carry my own with workmen and tradies. I can carry my own with, like, high society ladies, even though I've got tattoos and shit. I can carry myself with, just to serve TV, and then, a regular person. I can talk to homeless people. Sometimes it's masking, man.
have a relatively high pain tolerance. But if you start to notice that actually your experience is significantly different to the other people around you, then that's
Stick
a pretty
around,
strong sign of
girl.
undiagnosed autism. Actually, very quick disclaimer. Some of these signs, especially the last two around structure and sensory sensitivity, have a high overlap with ADHD. So if you resonate very strongly with those two and not so much with the others, then maybe something like ADHD might be a better fit. But that's a much more complicated question, so I won't go into that too much today.
Stick around, Colours. I could be wrong, but I think Brit and
okay, so number 4, the fourth sign of undiagnosed autism in adults
stick around,
is
Colours.
having a
Trust
spiky
me.
skill set. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, if you think about my personal skill set, there are some things that I can do, some things that I can't do, some things that I've learned, some things that I haven't learned. But in terms of intrinsic ability, my ability to learn certain things and perform certain tasks, there are going to be some things that I find generally easier for me, and some things that I find just particularly difficult that others are fine with, but that I find them really difficult. Some people are good with numbers, for example, and other people haven't thought about maths since high school. Well, an extremely common characteristic of autism in children and in adults is having a very spiky skill set, meaning there are some things I am extremely good
Joey,
at,
are you listening
and by
to this?
extremely, I mean compared to the rest of the population, and some things that I really, really struggle with. Again.
Okay, let's leave that on the screen for a second. Let's use me as an example. Some things I'm good at. Oh, well, like, I don't know, writing songs. I'm fucking good at plants. I'm pretty good. I was going to say live streaming. Debatable. I'm amazing at cooking. What else I'm trying to think? Like graphic design shit. I don't know. Words, writing. So good. So good. Group fitness, all those things. Well, these days I wouldn't be able to do it, but and other stuff, some things I struggle with. Again, Joey can attest. There's things that I sit there and go, I can't do this. And Joey's trying to walk me through, like, for example, hooking up the monitor, the second monitor. I'm like, I can't. Forms, I can't. The blockages, some things, and you'd look at me and go, well, look at her. She's so capable and competent. She's such a fucking delight. She must be good at everything. I mean, I presume that's what you think based on what you see of me. But actually, I'm a fucking dumpster fire with some things. Time, shoot me now. Being on time, cannot. Who's feeling heard and seen right now? And who is hiding?
Compared to the rest of the population. Now, this does not mean savant level skills. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I used to play a lot of competition tennis. And it was pretty common for there to be a table tennis table inside in the clubhouse so that you could play while you were waiting to go out on the court. I was reasonably good at tennis. I could win things in my local area. There was no chance.
Sav, I like people too. I mean, a lot of the time I'll say I fucking hate people, but I'm gregarious and bright and sparkling. These are not all in. These are not mutual. These are not like one and done things. So lots of neurodivergent people love people. These are not okay. If you are to be diagnosed or identify with being neurodivergent, you will tick all of these boxes. It's a spectrum, and some things may not apply at all to you. Like there's some in the 16 that we do with Taylor, Mom on the Spectrum, that I'm like, yeah, that one doesn't really apply to me. But when we look at it bigger picture, yeah. And also some of us have been trained into being good with people. I'm great with people. Fucking amazing. Ugh. But afterwards I'm exhausted. All the spoons, Sav, all the spoons.
I would ever play at a state level or a national level or an international level. Reasonably good, but nothing spectacular. And so you would think that skill of being able to play tennis would somehow translate in being able to learn table tennis, right? I mean, roughly the same hit the ball with the bat kind of skills. But for some reason, I was way better than anyone else when it came to table tennis.
I'm glad you're here, Laura. You mentioned being diagnosed with, I believe it was bipolar. I feel like maybe, and Taylor talks later in another video, Taylor talks about how the misdiagnosis of women in particular, but also just adults, as being bipolar, borderline personality disorder. There was another one, my brain, that actually it's neurodivergence. We all click, everyone, we all click very well together. I'm just saying.
In those kind of tennis clubhouse situations. So much so that I ended up playing with my left hand instead of my right hand, just to make it a little bit more fun and interesting for me. Now, if I actually played against someone who knows how to play table tennis, then they would put me in my place very quickly. But it's an example of something where I am significantly better than average naturally in one area. Now, the opposite is also true. What about something like remembering dates or birthdays or cooking dinner or reading a map?
No, bad. I'm bad.
Will likely have some pretty significant gaps in that skill set. Things that just about every other adult can do fairly easily that for some reason is difficult, almost impossible for us.
It's me. I have had a full-blown meltdown, not even driving, walking, holding my phone with iMaps, my Apple Maps, telling me exactly where to go. And I can't. Like, I can't. My brain cannot. Doesn't help that I'm left-handed also, and a woman. Generally, it's no shade on women. Women's brains are different, regardless of whether you're neurodivergent or not. Maps. I'd rather die. I know. I take the same route every time. Carry on.
A personal example that came up for me recently, a lot of restaurants don't have paper menus anymore. They require you to scan a QR code and then figure out what you want online and then order it online through their app. And that's a barrier for me. I would sooner stay home and not eat than have to do that. Whereas for other people, they're like, this is fantastic. I just get food whenever I want it. I don't even have to talk to anyone.
Neither. Rushing's terrible. Very
Okay,
overwhelming.
moving on. Number 5, the 5th sign of undiagnosed autism in adults is emotional regulation. Things
It's not a
such
blanket
as
rule,
meltdowns, shutdowns, and withdrawal. And the reason I'm putting all of them in the same category is because they're kind of all mechanisms to deal with the same thing. What do I do when the world is too much and I just can't take it anymore? Does it hit me unexpectedly and I break down and have a meltdown? Does my brain switch off and I go into survival mode, no information in, no information out, and I just shut down for a little?
I used the terminology shutdown for years before I even had ever heard of it. Just instinctively, I go into myself when things get too much.
While? Or have I learned to withdraw away from the world, away from relationships, and block out the world that way until I've got enough energy to come back again? Autistic shutdown and withdrawal is a huge challenge in many relationships, and it's one of the top areas that my clients want help with in my relationship coaching work. So if you notice behavior that looks a little bit binary in terms of I'm engaging and everything seems fine and I'm fine and you're fine and we're doing really well, and then something happens and suddenly I have melted down or shut down or I've withdrawn and you can't get through to me for some reason, they are relatively extreme forms of emotional regulation that are quite common in the autistic population. A slightly less extreme form of this is a similar behavior but over a shorter time scale. So it might look like, don't talk to me at all for the next 2 hours. I need to decompress.
Amen.
Or it might look like a habit that I used to have as a teenager of having a power nap in the middle of parties. There's music and dancing and people running around making
love
lots
this
of noise. And I would just sit on the floor, close my eyes, block out the world for 20 minutes and reset my brain. Fantastic.
Wait, pause. I'm not going to get there in time. Ah! Oh, I did. Fuck yes. Same life artist. Even in high school, when I considered myself to be not like one of the popular girls, but I was in the next sort of group of that. But all through my life, I've always befriended the odd bods, the ones that everyone else is like, nah, they're fucking weird. Like the outcasts, the misfits, and we click because I might look real like mainstream, well, not these days, but then yeah. That and Sav, I have got we might not get to it, but there's a whole video. It's a 50-minute video. We won't get to it about menopause and late diagnosed women and how it can really bring on those neurodivergent characteristics and traits. It's linked in the description box. I'll show it to you so you know what we're talking about, even if we don't watch it.
Okay, number 6. The 6th sign of undiagnosed autism in adults is very unusual associations and mental jumps. So I say banana and you say space station, right? Clearly, it's obvious what went on in your brain just now. To the outside observer, these seem pretty random. It might be an esoteric quote or picking up on a little side meaning or taking something literally and then running with that instead of picking up on the main meaning of the sentence. But if your brain makes uncommon associations, and again, uncommon is measured based on comparing that to other people. So it's been measured apparently cross-culturally that if you ask people to pick a random color, blue is by far the most common.
Pish posh pink.
There are other examples, like think of a vegetable. Most people might think carrot or potato. I remember I asked this of a friend of mine in high school and she said rhubarb. And I thought there's something special here. How many people, when asked to pick a random vegetable, would pick rhubarb? That is the definition of unusual compared to your peers. And the result of these natural, unusual associations, well, there are lots of positive ones in terms of creativity and things like that, but it does make communication much more difficult because if a link is very clear in my mind, but it just does not occur at all in my listener's mind, that's a problem. And vice versa. If I'm listening to someone and they think an implication is obvious and my brain just hasn't gone there, it's gone somewhere completely different, then that can often make communication a bit more challenging.
I love the gap.
Okay, finally, the last one, the 7th sign of undiagnosed autism. This one is probably the simplest and the most powerful and the hardest to really pinpoint exactly what we mean. The person is just a bit different. What does that mean? Exactly.
Me.
What does that mean? They're just a bit different. You can't quite put your finger on it. It might be a good different. It might be a bad different. It might just be a neutral kind of quirky different. There is something that
Amber
makes
loves
this
potatoes
person
too, very
stand
much.
out as the odd one
We
out
love you,
for
Sam.
some reason. And our brains are very, very good at picking the odd one out. I
Right,
did a
Brit.
video a little while back
Right
asking
motions,
the question, can you spot autism in under a second? You can watch the full video here if you want. But ultimately, the answer is yes, you can spot difference. Our brains can pick out patterns and find the odd one out in a
be
split
careful.
second.
We need
Does
to
being
have
the
your
odd one
vision.
out mean you're autistic? No, not necessarily. However, if you find yourself commonly being the odd one out in a lot of different circumstances, then that is a sign that you might be autistic. If that is you and you resonate strongly with that, it's actually an extremely surreal experience to hang around with the autistic community, especially for the first time,
It's the
and be
best.
surrounded by so many other people who are also a little bit different
It's
in
the
lots of
best.
different ways that are different to the ways that you're different. How many
I have to
times
interrupt
can I
him.
differently use
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Chat. See how we all love each other? See how we all fit so well with each other? It's a small, diverse, unified community. That's us. This is what he's saying. Mind blown. Please have your mind blown. There's a reason why we all get along so well, and the others just don't fit in here. And it's not because we don't make that happen. We're just a little bit different, right? Love.
different in the same different sentence differently? Maybe I should have an eighth category, amuses themselves in ways that are unlikely to be amusing to other people.
I love this guy.
So this is one of the reasons that I say to understand autism, you should go out and meet autistic people. And if you are questioning yourself, whether
Yeah,
you
a Cam
yourself
Shorty.
might be an undiagnosed autistic person, then seeing what I've talked about in this video in real life and experiencing what that actually looks like in other people can be a really powerful experience. Because when everyone is the odd one out, ironically, no one is the odd one out. I experienced this properly for the first time running a camp for autistic teenagers several years ago. There was a lot of weird stuff going on. And if you thought, you know what, I'm going to stand out for the crowd, I'm going to wear like a pink onesie and see what people think. Well, you wouldn't stand out from the crowd. You might be the only one in a pink onesie, but there are so many other people doing other weird, different things in other directions that, ironically, your particular clothing choice kind of blends into the background against that. So anyway, I should probably leave it there for today. I have some other videos on this topic as well, if you're interested. I'd probably recommend checking out the playlist on masking and unmasking. And
Yes,
if you're
we
looking
will,
to join an
sir.
autistic
Yes,
community,
we will.
you might like to consider joining us on Patreon.
Yes,
you can
I
join the
probably will.
community and support this channel financially as well for as little as $1 a week. So thanks so much for everyone who's already supporting through that. We also have an online social group.
Pause. Talking about the online social group. For me, upon realizing that I was without a doubt Alice the Dragon, congratulations. Welcome. 100%, 96% likely that you're neurodivergent. For me, joining it was called then the Australian Women Autistic Group. It's changed now to have non-binary and also, and I think I might have left the group because I got everything I needed out of it, and it was so once I was comfortable and didn't need to sort of have those resonating, validating moments of other people with similar shared experiences, not all the same, but here and there. I didn't need that support anymore. But there are here this community, and plenty are out there. I'm going to stop him, and I'm going to put I'm going to go to his channel and drop his channel into the chat if you'd like to subscribe to him. And then we'll watch something. We'll have a little bit of a chat, and then we'll watch a bit of Taylor, Mom on the Spectrum. Press these buttons. Right. That's him, Mr. Man. Mr. Man, love him, love. Colors very resistant. Colors will crack you. You're a tough nut to crack. It's no shame to be autistic. It's fucking amazing. we are welcoming you with open arms at which time, if ever, you are. I mean, take the quiz, colours. Okay, that man, love, good work, man. Stop sharing this. Do you want a song break? Joey, did we do that song? We, the royal we. I love you, Joey. Thanks for the cheese. I'm not dead yet, by the way, chat. I'm still here. So it seems like maybe I'll live the cheese experience. Hey, here's a song. Get ready. Brand newy. It's pretty boppy. Get ready.
Good people shine the brightest in the darkest times. And wishes are like beauty, they are vain, vain things. Expect nothing at all, girl, but never lose hope. Walk a fine, fine line, give me just enough rope. Shine, shine, it's gonna be fine. Time is all mine. Fine lines, hard times make you who you are. Quitting ain't no option, girl, already come this far. Time is but a shadow in the construct of your mind. A lie unchecked becomes the truth, you know, time after time. Ephemeral and fleeting, fortunes always meet and run in circles. Water level things, gonna be just fine. Shine, shine, it's gonna be fine. Time is all mine. Fine lines, hard times make you who you are. Quitting ain't no option, girl, already come this far. Ooh, time is but a shadow in the construct of your mind. A lie unchecked becomes the truth, you know, time after time. Ephemeral and fleeting, fortunes always meeting, run in circles, water level things, gonna be just fine. Shine, shine, it's gonna be fine. Time is all mine. Fine lines, hard times make you who you are. Quitting ain't no option, girl, already come this far. Whoa, now slow down, what you gonna do? Lamplight and lifelines, the light in circles you. Opportunity, community, living, breathing entity, creation, foundation, building your eternity. Shine, shine, it's gonna be fine. Time is all mine. Fine lines, hard times make you who you are. Quitting ain't no option, girl, already come this far. Shine, time, fine, mine. Walk that line until the end of time. 'Cause good people shine brightest in the darkest times.
Oh, you like that one? That's the latest. That's the latest. It's very commercial sounding, right? Love, love. 10-10. So here I am on the side. Standard. Bit of an outlier. That's me. Hi, it's me. Nice. Thanks, Joey. We might start a Miss Shorty music channel. You all have to subscribe because, you know, me. If you hear my music, love you to drop a comment, even if it's just a dancing lady or something, and then I'll drop one back. Prince is so good at that. She does it all the time. It really helps push the stuff out into the algorithm. The monkeys only like the Salties tea popcorn songs, the ones about them. So I've lost some views now because I don't write that shit anymore. I mean, I do a little bit occasionally. We'll do another music in a minute. Oh, while I think of it, we're going to have a whole well, Brittany, maybe. She's also very neurodivergent, in my opinion. So, yes, love it. We're going to do a merch range. Matilda's idea, love, because Matilda and I were having a bit of a moment this morning, or my morning, very early, just because I don't sleep again. And we were having a bonding moment because I love Matilda very much. And she's come a long way from a very timid, very, not always, but because of some treatment by some people in those who shall not be named, and to see her come from that to let me show you something. Anyway, the whole point of my story, there is one. I think this. The whole point of my story is that I said to her, listen to opalescence, because opalescence is finding our people, and suddenly we're all right where we need to be. And oh, by the way, look, meet our mods. This is MissShorty.com. There's Joey. Oh, that's not Amber yet, but it will be. Amber, if you'd like me to write your bio, I'm happy to. I wrote Steph's because she's baby mod. Michelle, great hair. Michelle wrote hers. Love. Didn't even use the word cunt. So proud of you. There's our Steph. Girl. Princey. Mwah, official greeter. Taryn cried a lot writing that one because we still don't know what's going on with Taryn. But my point here, this is Matilda. Look at this beautiful, warm, friendly, kind, just beautiful person. The Matilda who I met a few months ago via email would have never felt supported and confident and included enough to put her picture up. It just wouldn't have happened. And I said, so we've come a long way, like our beautiful community, bringing beautiful people like you all in to be with us because water finds its level. And I said, listen to Opalescence. You all know it. If you don't, it's amazing. I cried a lot because I listened to it at the same time Matilda was listening to it. Long story short, always a long story, Matilda suggested that we have a merch range that that had some of our favorite lines from some of our favorite songs, Miss Shorty songs. Obviously, is there any other music? No, not in my opinion. And I think that's a great idea. So if you have a favorite line from a Miss Shorty song or a couple, send me a DM, drop it in chat, we'll write it down and we'll turn that stuff into merch. A whole range, just merch. Pretty cool, huh? Not for making money, but just so we can wear the things that mean a lot to us, those lines. Matilda says, no way, never would have even thought of it. No, it's that. Here's the thing, doesn't Matilda reckons she's the oldest, right? She's the oldest of all the shorties. I think Joey, no offense, Joey and Matilda should probably compare notes. But one of the interesting characteristics of neurodivergent folks, I found out when I was doing my very initial research, and I was like, I typed in Google, do autistic people look different to neurotypicals? Do neurodivergent people look different? And it was like, no, I mean, not like, for example, how, people with Down syndrome have a different bone structure and different facial features. However, interestingly, often neurodivergent folk look a lot younger than their actual years. And I find that fascinating because it's a tough life being a neurodivergent person in a neurotypical world. Very tough. So the fact that we tend to look younger, wild to me. Me, look at me, I'm almost 50. Up close, I'm looking pretty ragged because I keep waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning again. But it is very interesting, Steph. To people, ladies and guys, but girls who are girls. Do people say, oh my God, you can't be that age. You look so much younger. Okay, so that's our beautiful Matilda. That's our idea for more merch. Can't have enough merch. Pokemon Michelle says, I need a Shorty bumper sticker that says something that matches my Public Buzz stickers. Well, we've got stickers. We'll do a bumper sticker. Check out the merch store, Pokemon Michelle. But we take suggestions. Matilda loves extra work. She loves it. She thrives on it. She's an absolute workhorse, and so creative and so clever and just the most beautiful. Matilda, one of the most beautiful people I've ever met, to be honest. I'm going to start crying. Let's put on a different thing. Yikes. Won't cry. Am crying. No crying, Lisa. All right. What do we got? This one is called 19 Chart of Easily. Is it that one? Yes. Okay. So the next two are from Taylor, Mom on the Spectrum. Where is it? Chart of Easily. So we've watched her before. She's lovely. Late diagnosed autistic female, adult woman. This This one's a 13 minutes. Let's do it.
Females are naturally more social creatures, and so we learn how to abide
it's
by
time.
the rules
Wait,
in our
I'll fix
social
the closed captions.
environment,
Wait.
and we can camouflage or mask. And honestly, that's part of the reason that females are so underdiagnosed.
Sorry, I forgot to put closed
mask
captions
or
on before.
camouflage is to cover up how you would normally interact with someone else by taking on different characteristics that you notice other people are doing. So, for example, in situations where I'm talking to somebody that I'm not super familiar with, I don't like making eye contact. I can't actually hear the words that are being said.
I think you're all the same age, Michelle.
So I find different places on the face to focus. That's not the eyes,
Wait,
but it still
pause.
looks like I'm making eye contact. So I'm masked.
Digital Lee, is it your birthday? Wait. Love it, Matilda. Hi, Patricia. Good to see you. Happy birthday. What did I miss here? Hi, all. It's my birthday. Yes. Thank you for being here on your birthday, and thank you for being a member for 2 months. 2 months flies, right? Yay. Happy birthday. That's awesome. I won't ask you how old you are, but are you 69? Because we're all hoping to get to 69 sooner rather than later. Sidebar. Michelle, Joey, and Matilda will all get to 69 at almost the same time. How old is Matilda? I mean, I know how old Joey is. I don't think I should say how old Matilda is, but I know how old you are, Michelle. I think you're I think you're the same age, but I'm older. You guys. I can't be divulging anybody's age, but happy birthday, Lee. I'm always told I look younger. Moon Goddess says she's 62 and people don't believe it. How old are you both? Patricia wins because she's 69. Just saying. Just hit 74. You've already surpassed 69. It's all just fucking champagne now for you. Colors Flight, you look like shit. Yeah, man, you've got little kids and tough stuff. Steph, it could be the moisturizer as well. Bring it on. Yes. We're doing a 69 range. We're still building it. I cry, you cry, I cry. I'm older than both of you. Yes. Stop. I'm far behind in chat. Matilda is beautiful. Yeah, I'll skip through the ads. Fuck the ads. 69 pants. Okay, we need pants. We need 69 pants. We've got to do the logo for 69. Matilda, don't you worry. 74. Matilda's 63. Okay, so I think Joey isn't 63. I'll just start saying I'm 69. Exactly. I'm 50 soon. Happy birthday. I'll be 61 this year. So Matilda's older than you. No, wait, yes. Steph's 45 soon. Forever 30. I'm 50. What the fuck? And you thirst over that Joe Flexback? You like him a bit older, huh, babe? He's very sexy. Okay, let's get back to it. God, chat. Topic.
Asking my desire to just
Happy
be
birthday, Lee.
Looking off in the distance while I'm talking to someone, which actually helps me listen to you. And I'm trying to appear more socially normal by pretending like I'm making eye contact. That's an example of masking or camouflaging. What I want to do today, I recreated a chart that I found when I was in the process of getting my diagnosis that really opened my eyes to how autism can present differently in females. I think that this chart originally came from Rudy Simone in one of their books, and I'll put a link to that in the description. This was originally posted on helpforaspergers.com, which is no longer an active site, but I love this chart. The only copy that I can find online is blurry and hard to read, and so I've reformatted it and made it colorful and shortened the descriptions a little bit so that it all fits in one kind of easy to digest page, and that's what I'm going to be reading off of today. But this did not originally come from me. It came from, I believe, Rudy Simone, and I'm just going to kind of add my tidbits to it as I walk you through it today. All right, so we're going to start over here under appearance and personal habits. So first of all, you might notice if you're an autistic,
it's coming back. That
you prefer to dress more comfortably. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't wear heels and that type of thing.
Pause. I thought I was making it bigger. That's what she said. Just go back. It's fine. If you want to, anyway, it's a chart. Okay, it's a chart. Thanks.
But you might just naturally gravitate towards t-shirts or comfortable
But also I got rid of some of the words. So hang on.
And I'm just going to kind of add my tidbits to it as I walk you through it today. All right, so we're going to start over here under appearance and personal habits. So first of all, you might notice if you're an autistic female that you prefer to dress more comfortably. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't wear heels and that type of thing, but you might just naturally gravitate towards t-shirts or comfortable jeans or sensible shoes. You might spend less time on grooming and
See you, pokes.
I hate
See you,
caring for my
Shelley.
hair. Like I remember in college, one of my roommates
Proof
was
for
like,
us.
why are you brushing your hair like that? Like, I just didn't know. You might have an eccentric personality and or appearance. You might come across as young for your age and your preferences, your appearances, and your taste. I'm 32 and people still call me like sweetie, sugar, honey. I hate it. But I think I just come across as younger in a lot of ways. Autistic females are usually more expressive than autistic males. So that's one way that it appears that we might not be autistic to the outside world. It's like, oh, you're so expressive and social. But again, that can be part of the camouflaging and masking that I was talking about earlier. You might also have androgynous tastes, but a feminine appearance. You might camouflage socially, and you may lack a sense of personal identity. So for me, I realized whenever I would take personality tests and stuff, because I love taking those, it would always be kind of based off of maybe like the people I had been around most recently or the latest movie I had seen or TV show, because I just had a hard time pinpointing who I exactly was. And I still do, because I naturally just kind of take on other people's characteristics so that I can camouflage. You might retreat into reading and or TV.
Okay, so wait, pause.
You might manage your stress with rules, discipline, and routines.
What you just said then about camouflaging and being like a chameleon who fits in, I can say that in my sex work, there's a reason for this story. And it's not gratuitous sex work stories. I never had a complaint, not once. Not to do with the sex stuff, like obviously, but because I have this ability to adapt and read without even thinking about it, subconsciously, intuitively, read the person I'm with and be who they need and want me to be for it to be the best dynamic, right? I guarantee you a lot of sex workers are autistic, neurodivergent. I guarantee you, not only because we're the outliers and we struggle sometimes to maintain traditional roles in the workforce, but also because we're very good at masking. Sex work is all masking. It's all masking. Don't worry about the sex. What you're doing is being whoever the person in front of you wants you to be and doing it seamlessly so they pay you, right? So, however, in life now, and I'm not sure whether it's my age, but I don't ever really recall ever in my lifetime trying to adapt and fit into what people around me wanted me to be. Maybe time under the world has turned many times. But so this one doesn't necessarily apply to me, I don't think. Masking different to like not really knowing who you are. And I've always known who I am. I guess, a weirdo. I thought that. Carry on, Taylor.
And that is me. And you're probably happiest at home or other controlled environments.
Yeah.
My happy place is on my couch or in my bed under my weighted blanket, and give me my cats. Okay, let's hop over to intellect, education, and vocation. You might have been considered gifted, shy, or sensitive when young.
Yes.
My psychologist says let's replace sensitive with responsive. You might have overt or covert learning deficits. I wrote covert on there. That was for me because I feel like I have plenty of learning deficits, but my teachers were never aware of them because I hid them really well. Often musical or artistic.
Michelle, I don't know, man. I want to put, I don't think you're like me at all, or in many ways, but I also, I don't know, man. I don't know, Michelle. You're in that same resistant like colors, like, nope. And that's okay. You fit in really well with us though, babe.
Artistic. I am a professional flute player and I love playing the piano. And as a hobby, I collect all of the instruments.
These are not hard and fast rules, remember?
A djembe, an ocarina, a guitar. I have a ukulele. I have a piccolo. Yeah, I don't know what system of counting I'm using on my hands, but I have a lot of instruments. You may have a savant skill or another strong talent. You may gravitate
songwriting.
Computers and technology.
I'm a savant.
Or writing, languages, and psychology. I feel like I could give myself a degree in psychology because I studied so much of it just out of compulsion. You also might have many self-taught skills. You may be highly educated, but struggle with social aspects of school. I always had so much anxiety in college about I wouldn't join a sorority or a fraternity because I just did not understand I didn't understand it. You might have a partial degree or two. You can be really passionate about one course of study and then change your mind and do something else completely and be really passionate about that. That element of myself drives me crazy. You may have trouble staying employed or finding work. I have had so many different jobs over the years. I've been a cupcake baker. I opened my own bakery in my house. Teacher. I've been a substitute teacher. I've been a fitness instructor. A lot of things. So you might be slow to comprehend some things due to sensory and cognitive issues that may or may not be apparent to other people. But like for me in conversations, if somebody tells a joke, I feel that I might be one of the last people to actually understand that joke. But I'll go ahead and laugh just to make it look like I'm part of the conversation. You might prefer written rather than verbal instructions. Whenever teachers would tell me to remember something.
My daughter, oh my God, yes. Back to that last one about the laughing. Me, I get jokes, not in text. How many of my friends, Amber, Joey, who else, who say something joking, I'm like, I take it so literally. I'm like, and they're like, yeah, I was joking. I'm like, oh, in conversation all the time. Lol, I get it. I'm the funniest cunt you'll meet anyway. Hence, funny cunt. My offsider is so autistic. He doesn't know, but he is so autistic, man. He admits that he doesn't get jokes. He admits that he laughs along, and that even his friends in high school used to tell jokes and then go like, Anth doesn't get it. And he'd be like, no, I don't. He's hyper vigilant with germs. He's a germaphobe. He sanitizes his hands all the time. There's so many things. He's so autistic. It's so autistic. But the jokes thing is interesting. I very much, but I think because I'm so funny and because I'm so smart, like I am, but usually highly intelligent people are funnier. I'm just saying.
Like in college, I typed every single word on my computer. I needed everything in writing. You might have obsessions that are less obvious than males who have autism spectrum disorder. Special interest is a pretty significant characteristic for autistic people in general, and women might be more able to camouflage that and make it appear less intense. Like you're not going to be in a room full of trains all day, every day. And I know that's a little bit stereotypical. Okay, let's go to emotional and physical. You might be emotionally immature or sensitive. For me, I'm very sensitive or responsive. You might have frequent anxiety and or fear. That's me. So much anxiety, especially in grade school and high school and college and adulthood and parenthood. You might be more open to discussing feelings than ASD males. You might have strong sensory issues or be prone to overwhelm.
I'm going to give Taylor a pass on saying ASD because it's, when was this video? I hate it. I hate it because being autistic is not a disorder. And this was 3 years ago. Stuff has changed in 3 years. So we'll give her a pass on that. Same as one of the quizzes she recommended, which is, and it's in the description box, which Alice the Dragon has already taken. It's called the Aspie quiz. I'm melting from the Nazi reference of Asperger's, but good quiz by all accounts. So some things are still used. I don't love ASD, but it was 3 years ago. Carry on, Taylor.
I'm really picky about what I eat because I don't like the textures of certain foods. I get overwhelmed by really soft touch. I hate it, and it makes me really mad. You might be prone to depression, or you may have been diagnosed as bipolar or manic depressive instead of labeled.
All right, Colors, same girl. I will eat food off the floor. I don't give a fuck. I hardly ever wash my hands. Yep. In COVID, I struggled with the whole social expectation to wash your hands like proper. I'd be like, oh my God, like I don't touch anything. Why do I need to wash my hands? Like, fuck. These are not hard and fast rules. Color, we love you so much, Colors. My mother is a very, very extreme germaphobe. Me, don't care. Mate, I used to eat food off the brothel floor. I used to drop my cheese and crackers on the floor in the girls' room in the brothel, like where we used to get dressed. Dirty bitches. And just eat it. I don't care. So I'm also autistic. We're getting Colors. We're going to convince Colors. Do the quiz. Do the quiz. No peer pressure, Colors. I love you.
Labeling it as autism. So if you had other diagnoses, like for me in the past, I was diagnosed OCD and ADHD. I still think the ADHD is really fitting, but I think the OCD was more ASD in general.
We've covered OCD in previous streams where I've talked about I've done no research. Well, have I? I don't know, maybe. So much research. OCD as that terrifying prison shackled existence of true OCD, where things are done out of fear fear-based. If I don't do X, Y, and Z a certain number of times, or in a certain order, or in a certain way, or to a certain standard, bad stuff will happen. It's fear and anxiety based. And if you don't do those things, for my mind, or the autistic or the neurodivergent OCD comes from a place of safety. So doing things in a certain way, a certain number of times, in a certain order, at a certain time of a day, to my personal preferences, makes me feel safe and calm and in control, but not in a control freak way, like, right? Soothing. It's the routine of it all. Whereas, you know, not like proper word, not a good word. OCD, the kind of OCD where it ruins your whole life and you're a prisoner within that, that's not the same as, I mean, you can have both, but autistic or neurodivergent OCD is a calmness and a safety and a self-soothing from doing things that way. The other one, like they'd rather die than have that compulsion. I have compulsions. Shopping.
In general. So you might have had other diagnoses that don't really seem to fit. You might be super sensitive to medication and anything you put in or on your body. That's me. And my psychologist has said that oftentimes autistic people can have paradoxical effects with medication. So if something is supposed to work one way, it might work the complete opposite way for you. So weird. Another thing that 9 out of 10 autistic people, I saw that statistic somewhere, I'll have to find that and dig that up. 9 out of 10 people have some type of gastrointestinal issue, like stomach issues when you eat certain foods, indigestion, acid reflux, that kind of stuff. You might stim to soothe when you're agitated. A lot of people, think of autism as kind of like hand clapping.
I do this. Have you guys noticed?
Stimming is like I constantly move my fingers and tap on things, which I kind of got away with because I was a band nerd. I also click my teeth. I just go back and forth with my teeth in my mouth. Nobody else knows I'm doing it, but I do it constantly. And then when I was in grade school,
I have bruxism. I clench my jaw so hard. I've cracked my back teeth. I have 3 missing molars because of it. My front teeth are beautiful. It's not anything other than bruxism. When I'm particularly stressed and this is my mildly, like my thinking and my little bit stressed, a little bit under pressure. You might notice I do it sometimes when I'm talking about difficult topics. But there's been times in the last few months where my mouth has been so drawn in, so like, just trying to maintain things that like mouth stuff, oral fixation. That's why I vape, right? A lot of neurodivergent people who do vaping and stuff.
I blink.
So good for you
all
though.
the time. You might be prone to temper tantrums.
I've got this other thing lately where when I'm doing stuff, like I start to do this wink thing. It's like a Tourette's thing. Like I get a facial tic when I'm like, when I'm starting to be on the verge of overwhelm, which has been this last week. I've had a lot of balls in the air trying to respond to things in a timely manner and get a lot of shit locked in and a lot of stuff to prepare for this. My job has been, my site changed this week, so I've had a lot of new stuff. So I've just been hanging in there and not tipping over the edge, and that sort of, I just did it then. Not winking.
Or crying meltdowns in public. It's not necessarily because you're being dramatic. It's just because you're overwhelmed by all of the sensory information that you're processing. You also might be very physical when you're happy. I love dancing. I dance all the time. My mother-in-law got me a sign for the kitchen that says, "In this kitchen, we dance."
Cute. Jim, thank you for the sticker. And I haven't written anything down, but Jim, you go in the draw for this weekend for a Miss Shorty merch raffle. Have I told you that, guys? It's like we're into the last of the 3 lives for today, and I forgot to tell you. So any memberships, so Amber, who else was it? Mandy, Jim, I'll have to check and make sure. At the end of the weekend, at the start of next weekend, we'll draw it live and you get to pick anything from the merch store. And there'll be a second and a third place as well who'll get stickers or a magnet or something of your choice. Did I mention it? No. Spinning plates Yes. Thanks, Jim. Oh, wait. Ooh, fuck. Sit the fuck down, Lisa. Your ADHD is showing. Right? Literally is with this. Thanks, Jim. And
I'll
this.
take any motherfucker's money if he giving it away. Shit.
Yes.
You might hate injustice and being misunderstood. It can often incite anger in you. I know, like, we should all hate injustice, but there's just a certain element of it, especially for autistic people, I think, because we're so used to being misunderstood that it just enrages us. Okay, you can also be prone to mutism when stressed. Mutism means you shut down and you don't talk.
I'm rewinding that. This is huge for me. Being misunderstood and misinterpreted. I'll be over explaining that shit to the end of fucking time. So can you imagine how hard it's been for me to let them? Like, honestly, like, let's take a moment here. For me, the tendency, and many autistic neurodivergent folk, to because we are so used to being misunderstood, misinterpreted, misconstrued, misrepresented, that we feel this very strong need to explain ourselves. Gotcha, Abby. You're still on the list. For me to be able to sit back and not explain, justify, clarify the stuff that's been said about me, at me for months, that's some big fucking self-restraint for me, who my tendency is to clarify that shit, because it physically pains me to be misunderstood, because nobody gets me. You guys get me best. Yes.
Dance. You might hate injustice and being misunderstood. It can often incite anger in you. I know, like, we should all hate injustice, but there's just a certain element of it, especially for autistic people, I think, because we're so used to being misunderstood that it just enrages us. Okay, you can also be prone to mutism when stressed. Mutism means you shut down and you don't talk. And you may have a unique vocal quality, or you might speak in monotone. So it might be hard to believe right now, but a lot of times when I'm...
Cheryl says, it says I'm neurotypical. There are more than, like, neither of the two quizzes that I put on into the description box are the ones that I did. I'll have to find it and put it in. But also sometimes you answer those things based on your predisposition for masking. So you answer with the socially acceptable, no, that's the wrong word, answers. But maybe just a little bit odd like us, and you fit in with us, but you're not a neurodivergent. I don't know, man. If it resonates with you, do some more research, do some more, because you know you more than a quiz knows you, right? And you do fit in very well with us here at Camp Shorty, darling.
When I'm processing things, I'm just very monotone, and I talk like this, and I don't have much facial expression. And for a while, I've been married for almost 11 years now, but for a while that was kind of an issue in our marriage, because my husband was like, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're feeling. You seem like you're very...
Sav, yes. Yes. It's when those, everybody has favorite things. Everybody has a mild special interest. Everybody needs alone time. Everybody has snippets of this. Yes. It's when there starts to be a mountain of those things that you're like, oh, okay. Like, I this is not against you, but one of the things that will grind a neurodivergent, a self-diagnosed or formally diagnosed or self-identifying neurodivergent person is when people say, but we've all got a bit of ADHD in us, right? We're all a little bit on the spectrum, right? It's like, yeah, nah. Does it affect your life? Like, does it affect... I'm not being heated towards you, Sav, just me being passionate. Like, I know myself, my brain, let me get a little Orion Kelly on you. My brain, I wouldn't change anything. There's probably some things I would change. The time blindness, the inability, the blockages I have to some things, like in that last video where I said, like, there's some things that I just cannot do. Like, my brain cannot do it. But I can do lots of shit really fucking well. So it's also like still trying to destigmatize. And like, I know, remember how I told you, like the first time the guy said to me, have you ever been diagnosed? I'm like, I am not autistic. How dare you? I mean, a bit like colors. She's like, I'm not. Like, I'm not. And that maybe you're not colors. I don't mean to continuously make an example of you because I love you and you're autistic. But it can be a quite confronting realization at first, like life changing, right? Am I right? Late diagnosed adults, am I right? Quite confronting. But then once you relax into it, it's the best thing. I'm sitting here like clenching my thighs like this. I'm so like, I feel very strongly about this, but it's a socially, there's a stigma still. There's a reluctance in some, particularly as an adult, to say, hey, wait, yeah, maybe. Because people, when I say I'm autistic to people, they go, oh, but you don't look autistic. Oh no, you seem really normal. Oh, do I? Thanks. I tell that to my every single day of my life being me. So there is that resistance and that reluctance, including in me, for many people, to go to climb over that hurdle and to be okay with the idea of it. I promise you, it's no shame. Like Amber said, I'll find it again. I saw it scroll by, but I was on a TED talk. I was on a TED talk, you know. What did I just I just got rid of my screen. Wait, I just did something. I'm still here. Fuck. How do I get that down? God damn it. Why am I like this? Well, I think we all know why I'm like this. My screen just went off completely. What did Amber say? Thank you, Amber. Sending moral support to everyone who has felt less than because of how your brain works. You are not less than. For me, I was to the point where I was like, fuck, man, there is something wrong with my brain. I cannot do this anymore. What is wrong with me? I hated myself. The loathing, because I just couldn't fucking understand what the fuck was wrong with me. Why can't I do things that other people can do? Why can't I do that? Why do I lose friends? Why do friends just disappear on me? What the fuck? What is wrong with me, man? What the fuck? I was suicidal because what the fuck is wrong with me? So to go from that to where I am now, I'm like, yes, I'm me. Like, it's annoying sometimes, but I'm still kind of cool. And look at all us together. So like, I understand that feeling, and I also understand the maybe being reluctant to open your heart and mind to the possibility, because particularly if we're adults, right, and we've been on this planet for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, this is who I am. But maybe who you are is neurodivergent. Just say.
Well.
Joey, fuck you. I love you.
Put off or removed from the situation. I'll be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you said, and I care about this very deeply.
Wait, imagine if I was muted for that whole time. Lol.
Or I can also be really expressive. Okay, so the last column, social and relationships. Like I said, your words and your actions might often be misunderstood. We tend to have like our own mental landscape that is just so different from what other people experience, and actually communicating.
Chewing, I'm muted. I know you're not saying that. You're not, it seems offensive, right? Like, I literally just, whoa, out of context. I literally was like, we already watched Grant Smith Ellis say, how dare you? That's assault. I literally would have said this guy. I'm like, I am not autistic. And then my brain started going, like, maybe you should think about that, because could be that could be. It took me 18 months from that point to go, fine. And it's the best thing. It's my rebirth. That's when I was born.
Our experiences can be very difficult. You might be perceived to be cold-natured or self-centered. Again, kind of in my marriage, I seem cold and removed sometimes because my brain is way out there and I'm processing everything while somebody's trying to talk to me. And that can seem like I'm being cold when really I'm just trying to stay up to speed in the conversation.
The thing is,
You might
though,
be shy or mute.
the thing is, though, that neurodivergence literally means neuro difference, right? So it's not less than, it's not compartmentalizing. It's a physiological actual difference in the neurodivergent brain to the neurotypical brain. Our brains are different. So it's not compartmentalizing. In fact, to try and herd all humans as being the same, that's not really fair on the people that have, like, so is everybody able-bodied as well? Or I don't know. I don't feel pigeonholed at all. I did have some grieving time where I was like, oh, so I'm not just uniquely me anymore. I'm in a category. I did have to go through that. But when I realized that that category made me feel included and part of something other than being an alien, love, like 10-10, man. 10-10. 10-10.
I was unbelievably shy all throughout grade school, high school.
I'm not picking on you, Steph.
Extracurricular activity I was part of, I was very shy, but I loved being on stage. I loved leading things because I think that social interaction of like, I know what my role is. I'm talking and you listen. I understand that, and I don't have to wait for the back and forth of conversation. And so I really like being in a leadership role because I understand what's expected of me. You might not go out much.
God damn it.
You might prefer to only go out with your partner. That's me.
Fuck you all.
I fought that for a long time.
Suck my fucking dick.
And now
Chameleon. You say chameleon, right? I say chameleon. You can go fuck yourselves, right? I'm autistic. How dare you? How do you say it?
I just say
okay,
no.
fine. How do I say Aldi, fucking, what was the other one that I said to you all lolled? Sadistic. What else? Sham, wow. Fuck you. But she says the macrame. How am I supposed to say macrame? Oh my God, how dare you? This is an onslaught of assault. Well, how am I supposed to say it? What do you want me to? I don't know how to say it. I didn't talk to people. I read books. The number of times I say hyperbole instead of hyperbole is not even funny. I thought determined was determined for about 15 years of my life. What else? It's okay, let's pile on. Pile on, Shorty. I deserve it. I've been piling on a few of you. Boss, suck my dick. That's how you say it. Oh, you are so picked on by me. Apologies. Chameleon. I don't want to say chameleon. To me, it's chameleon. Fuck's sake. You all suck. I love you all so much. Yes, Steph. We're back on target. We're on topic. You all, I love you all very much. That's fine. I'm here for it. She said it. God damn it. Chameleon. What do you want me to say? How are you supposed to say it? God. That type of grieving, and I also grieve for the past me who struggled for so long, right, Steph? I grieve for the fact that I went from being, ta-da, I'm Uniqua. I'm like, there is only one Sky. That was my working name. There is only one Sky. There's only one Lisa. There is only one Lisa. It took me a while to get my head around the fact that there was others a lot like me. Because I kind of reveled in that uniqueness. I reveled in being the alien that nobody had ever met anyone like me ever before. Joey, it's lucky I love you, and it's lucky you sent me cheese. How am I supposed to say it? So far, you haven't said it. I get nothing out of your typing, you all. Taco. Fuck you, taco. Macrame. Isn't it what I say? Macrame. God. Charmeleon. Well, that sounds silly, Colours. Are you autistic or what? I didn't say Shamrellin. Joey, that's rich coming from you, Joey, because you don't even know what you were trying to type. You were probably trying to type. Fuck. You were probably trying to type community and you typed Shamrellin. Sir. God damn it. Okay, right, fine. Taco. I say taco. Suck my dick. Chameleon. Okay, fine. That's not how I say it. Chameleon. Listen. How dare they? Thank you, Princey. Princey, can you save me? I feel like the tables have turned very heavily now and I'm being picked on and I love it. Okay. Karma Chameleon. Thank you, Amber. Thank you. This is why I love you. Many, many reasons. Macrame. Oh my God. Don't ask Nick. He'll say you know what Nick will say? We're being so serious. We can't hold our serious. We've been serious for a long time tonight, chat. Like really, really, really.
Good for them. I'm happy. But I just want to make sure that I am still held in the highest esteem of the system. It's not a deal breaker, but I'd like to know. Thank you.
I feel like Joey's decided that he sends cheese and now he can just like, fine, I love cheese and Joey. I felt a bit of mourning and like, wow, if I had known. Yes. Do you know what? I felt a lot of rage. I was very angry. Like, it's so fucking obvious. I am so autistic as fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck? Every other person in my life, my parents, my dad's my dad's a doctor. Are you fucking kidding me? I spent 45 years of my life like hating myself. And it's this obvious now that I know. And nobody ever said a thing until this dickhead guy who I'd never met before, total fuckwit. The second or third thing out of his mouth was, hey, has anyone ever suggested that you're autistic because you can't make eye contact very well? Get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. I was very angry about that for a long time. That's after all of this. That's after all of this is when I did my shadow work. So much to process. Thank you, Amber. Yes. Listen. I mean, it's lucky I love you all very much. That's assault. It's all assault. I'm feeling assaulted. Britt, you're supposed to be on my side. We're besties. Like, we're proper friends. You live near me, sort of, compared to Boston. Britt, how dare you? Yeah, Nick. Look out, though. Joey's only one rank below you now. Joey's... You better do some actual stuff, Nick. Can we actually get back to it? Like, God damn it. Congratulations, Nick. Okay. Oh. Can we watch the rest of this video? Do you want a song? What do we need? Chat. I feel like I need a vape. Don't let Joey pick the song. God damn it.
Well.
What do we got?
Nefarious, precarious, and bold in trilogy. Triptych, switch, rage, soliloquy. It's a stool, it's a tripod, Machiavellian, but you're not God. Orchestration, triangulation, evil emanating, dark triad. Big mad, the dark triad. Maestros and their symphonies, it's you and you and you. Spearheading hate-filled vengeance, delighting in the tune. Zero appetite for truth, insidiously vile. Pain inflicted, spite injected, delivered with a smile. It's a stool, it's a tripod, Machiavellian, but you're not God. Orchestration, triangulation, evil emanating, dark triad. Big mad, the dark triad. Sunlight, it's true disinfectant, drawn into the bright light. Warrior, yo kamikaze, nothing but a coked up Gary Busey. Damn egregious, drawing three, synergy of evil. Exponential perceived power, madness reigns supreme. It's a stool, it's a tripod, Machiavellian, but you're not God. Orchestration, triangulation, evil emanating, dark triad. Big mad, the dark triad. Nefarious, precarious, emboldened trilogy. Triptych, switch, they rage soliloquy. It's a stool, it's a tripod, Machiavellian, but you're not God. Orchestration, triangulation, evil dark triad. The dark triad. It needs three.
Nice one, Joey. I'll pick the next one. A good one. Sab's in Australia, so she's not going to bed now. And if she is, girl, can I have what you're having? It's 1:39 in Australia, in my area. Right. One's in the chat if you know who that's about. I'll give you a hint. It's 3. But don't type 3. Just type 1. If you don't, be glad. Be very, very glad. Yikes. Yikes. I pick the next song, Joey, but good one. What are we doing? 3 minutes, Amber. We couldn't. We just couldn't. This is a tragedy. Easily distracted, right? Taylor, we're so sorry. We stand you. Keep going. Play. We can. God.
A lot of social events. I try to limit my social events to one outing.
Shit went off the rails.
It's hard to do that, especially when you have kids. Because then you have to start friending your kids' moms, and that's really hard. You might get fired up when talking about your passions or special interests, like me making this YouTube channel about autism just because I love talking about it. You might prefer to spend time with animals. I have 2 cats, and they're like my favorite. I lay in bed all morning just petting my cat and like singing to him. Those are my kids in the background. Like singing to him and petting him and calling him all the names. You might not do as many girly things as your friends, and you might not have as many girlfriends as other girls that you know. So that was kind of me. I had like a close-knit circle of friends. I still do, and I love them, but they're not like super girly girls, and we don't really do girly girl things. You might shut down in social situations when you get overloaded, but you might be way better at masking it than males who have autism. And that's one of the other reasons why
Amber, that's
we aren't
definitely
as
assault.
frequently as males, because we can be social and we can pretend like we're really good at it, and it becomes a skill that we learn, and we can almost like employ that skill as a performance. But then after we do, we're completely exhausted and we need recovery time. You might have trouble maintaining close friendships. That can happen sometimes because you don't really understand the give and take of relationships, in terms of like, you need way more downtime than the other person does. You want to stay home.
I'm glad she clarified. Am I muted? Fuck. No. Good. Yay. Hooray for me. My friendships over the years, I have friends still that I was friends with when I was 4, Facebook friends in different state. But like most recently, don't know if it's a friendship, but there was a guy who just, like, hard pass for me anyway, like whatever, but just disappear. And I think to myself, I'd be interested to know what it was. I don't really care. Probably wouldn't get a truthful answer anyway. But this is one of the things I was like, what the fuck, man? So I understand what's required in friendships, but my need for solitude, my propensity for shutdowns and going into hiding, shutdown mode, hideaway mode, for sometimes weeks at a time, most people take that personally, and I understand that. So my philosophy on friendships and on humans is that I appreciate the people in my life so deeply while they're in my life, because I can't guarantee, based on my lived experience, that they'll be around even tomorrow. Could be something I did or didn't do, said or didn't say. And I just appreciate and love my people very deeply. And you might feel that. It's very genuine love. Like when I say to you, I love you, I mean it. Because, you know, tell people that you love them if you do love them. I mean, obviously my husband, like trigger warning with my husband, one day he was there and the next day he wasn't. A few days in between, but effectively it was in 3 days he was there and then he wasn't. So that's a big problem for me in my lifetime as now I know a neurodivergent person, is that sometimes I say or do something, maybe it's cumulative, maybe it's the final straw for them. It could be a different bunch of things. I burn people out. I'm hard work, man. I can't really change. I don't want to change. I spent a lot of my life minimizing myself. Didn't change anything for the people that just abandoned me. So now I just be me, and I love fiercely. I love my friends fiercely.
You don't want to be as adventurous or explore. And then you may choose to remain celibate or alone. But if you are in a relationship, you might take it very, very seriously. And then due to sensory issues, you might thoroughly enjoy sex or strongly dislike it. Because again, we talked about all the sensory stuff and you just take in so much in terms of what you see and hear and feel and experience. And so that can either be really calming or it can be really upsetting. And then lastly, you can be super awkward whenever you're trying to flirt because your facial expressions don't really match and you don't really understand the give and take. You don't really understand like physical proximity and when to touch someone and when to back away. So it can be kind of interesting because it doesn't look like neurotypical flirting at all. So like I said, I found this chart when I was in the diagnostic process and it really opened my eyes. I called my best friend immediately and I was like, do you relate to this? Do you relate to this? Do you relate to this? And she's like, yes, no, 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 yes, no, no. And I was like, I relate to all of them. I hope that this is helpful to you. Again, I didn't create this chart. I redesigned it. I will try to post a link to this in the description and make it accessible on like another website. And if you want more information about that,
What the fuck?
To the book that I think it came from. I've been trying to do my research and like attribute this to the right person. Let me hear from you in the comments. Which of these traits do you find yourself really relating to? I'm curious to hear.
Mostly all of them. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, what the fuck? There is one rule. The first rule of Fight Club. They're not watching anymore anyway. Whatever. Good luck to them. Like, I'll snipe the people that come in that don't. Shut up, Lisa. Shut up, Lisa. Colors. Shh. Now they're all going to be looking. We'll have to delete the chat. We'll have to edit it somehow. Hey, I just had a thought. It could well be that I'm limiting my universal appeal by the fact that I can't stay on topic. You know what? Good. I don't want to stay on topic. It's more fun this way. They can all go fuck themselves. No, I'm kidding. YouTube viewers, love you. Replay crew, thanks. Don't subscribe, comment, like, and share. Okay, we got another one. What, this one? Fuck. Let's do one more. I had so many videos lined up. It's so funny. Okay, Princey, it is difficult to understand. Princey, just know you're all set. You're good. Like all set, good, all set. Not all set, bad, all set. For now, what the fuck? It's been nice knowing you. Jokes. It's fine. It's fine. The turnover is very high in my life. Let's just say that. So it's like survival of the fittest. I've just learned to love fiercely and in the moment, and nothing is forever, right? Nothing good, nothing bad, nothing is forever. Okay, what have we got? This one, it's really hard. Let me check. Taylor again. I think I like this one. All of these tabs that you can't see are in the description box. What's this one? Oh, I like this girl. This lady's great. This is great. These were the moments I had. Well, trust me, chat. Trust me. Trust no one who says trust me. Just say.
Welcome to my new studio.
Oh,
just kidding. Actually, I used to do
because it's dumb. The first bit's a bit. It's like when I talk about shit that the viewers don't care about. They can't slide through hours and hours of random shit interspersed with the proper stuff, can they? Sorry, viewers.
in terms of like who we are internally, in terms of like who we.
It's endearing and iconic. Trust me. Come to a live chat, replay crew. Trust me, it's worth it. We're fun here.
Are traits of autism, specifically in women, because what I did was I watched every top video you could find on people who have lived experiences and research talking about traits of autism in women.
I love you.
But I want to say really quickly that no matter who you are, these things can all apply to you. It's just.
Amen. I'll rewind it a bit. No, I didn't mean it like that at all. But that could be one of the reasons why my friends leave, because they're like, wow, that sounded pretty fucking harsh. I'm out. She's a bitch. Yikes. Hashtag no filter. Hashtag fucking delight. That.
just that I think that because of the way the research has gone and how we've been socialized as women, that I'll post a video with very specific traits, for example, of autism, and people will say, well, aren't all women like that? And so, no, they're not. Although I do think that each of us has autism is an expression of a naturalness in terms of human development. And so, sure, a lot of these things can be present in someone who doesn't have autism. What I really want to focus on this year and incorporate more in my channel is understanding neurodiversity as it includes unmasking trauma, unmasking complex PTSD, and things like ADHD and neurodiversity in general, including autism. Because as I've been doing these, deep dives, I'm learning so much about how many things that we dismiss that really weren't just adaptations and responses to trauma, but were part of who we were since birth. And yet, because so many of us have complex trauma and PTSD both, and we have neurodiversity potentially, it's really hard to sort of
I was busy
apart.
fixing.
But I think these things are important. If
Princey, remember last week when I said to you, like you said, no, I've been told mine's CPTSD. Fuck. And I'm like, yeah, babe, it could be. Like it could be. Cherry toners are good. Really good. Did you make some? Princey, yeah, remember? Are you still here? Yes, of course you are, I think. So it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. You could have trauma, but you could also be autistic, neurodivergent. You could also be bipolar. Here's Nick for the shade. Nick, to be Nick on the lofty white tower in which he lives. I guess when you're the highest ranking officer in the army, in the military coalition, it's going to be how it is. I agree. What the fuck? Did you like how scandalized they were, Linda and Michael, when I said your name was in their chat motion to scream, but in my chat, what the fuck? They were like, oh! Anyway, I love a wallpaper. Nick, you're outnumbered. Bye. I mean, not bye. Wait. Ooh, it's not a deal breaker. I'd just like to know. Thanks.
If they help you deep dive into more understanding who you are. And number two, to remove the shame and often isolation we feel like, well, I'm just different. And lastly, to help you create potentially things like more transition time between events, more recovery time after socializing.
Britt, I too watch everything at 1.25 or 1.5. Some things I watch at 2 speed. Shall we speed it up a little bit so we get a happy medium? I don't want her to be too fast for some. Should we try 1.25? If it's too fast, we can slow it down. Or Britt, you could go away for 5. I don't mean it like that. Wow, that came out bad. Fuck, there's a pattern here. You could go away for 5 minutes. Yikes. I don't know, do something. And then come back and watch it up to the spot we're up to. That doesn't sound fun. And on the speed you want? No, let's try speeding it up.
More real grace for yourself when you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing and trying to find ways to understand and embrace who you are. Really quickly, I just want to share this, that it's so funny that I've shared that I've struggled with being social, and I really am someone who seeks refuge alone. And yet I spent my entire childhood alone. And was that because of physical neglect?
God, we really are struggling with the topic today. I prefer, I like all of them, Nick, to be frank. Who's Frank? I don't know if I can really pull much clout these days. I think we've established that I am the pariah of the YouTube world these days, and that's fine. Excuse me, what about Joey? Wait, what? Shun one is? Of all the R's? No, I don't understand. What about Joey? She does look like Jessica Lange. Let me know if it's too fast. Anyway, what was I saying? Something. Nick, on topic. God, we have to stay on topic. This is a problem for my professionalism. Wouldn't change a thing.
Because of the time, I don't know. But I would also choose alone time, even when my house had people in it. Was that because they weren't always safe? Yes, but it wasn't like it was a disaster every moment. And then would I choose isolation now after still raising 4 children and I haven't really been alone? Like, I don't really know. I'll check with you in a few more years when I truly am completely alone. But I find that every time I have to consider doing anything social, even making a phone call to my best friend, I have an initial, I don't want to do this, an anxiety, a stress, like it's going to overwhelm me. And sure, some conversations, some new experiences can be overwhelming, but something like that that, has really helped me understand more and more about myself, no matter where it comes from, that it's okay. It has nothing to do with the person or myself. It's just part of how my brain works. All right, so let's get into it. Number one is related to that. It is social overthinking, anxiety, confusion, self-blame, oversharing, and undersharing. So it's all about the way your mind.
Never overshare, like never. The word kernel is distressing to me also. It's up there with Worcestershire, Worcester. But obviously we haven't played this many times. We'll get back to it. We're focusing. After this, we're focusing. I promise. I promise.
Good for them. I'm happy. But I just want to make sure that I am still held in the highest esteem of the system. It's not a deal breaker, but I'd like to know. Thank you.
Apparently, yes, Nick. Apparently, yes.
Mind thinks about how you have to be when you are social. Am I doing it the right way? Am I saying the right things? Often I found that this idea, and this can go to trauma too, but
this is relevant. Also, she's about 55, I think. She mentions being in her early to mid 40s about a decade ago in later in the video. Interesting, huh?
In general, this neurodiversity piece of a fear of oversharing or undersharing. So I found that there were years where I just blurted everything out. Maybe that was a trauma response, which I think it was. And then there were times when I have been for many years, in fact, more in the last, I would say, 7 or 8 years, very guarded, very not intentionally wanting to share. And does that relate to my job? Possibly, sure. But also just being very walled up. But that also, whether you're oversharing or undersharing, and then you have a feeling about it, not only can those dynamics affect how that social event experience goes, but it can really affect your desire to continue. But
Matilda, have you seen Nick's robe? I thought maybe you might have meant to type, I can't get enough of Nick's D, but then you said voice. So that was awkward.
But the core of this one is just like your brain overanalyzes before, during, as I've said, hovering over yourself, and after the event. What did I say? Why did I say that? What will they think? Things like that. Number 2, exhaustion and fatigue from the overstimulation of being in social dynamics. It could just be phone calls, but having to be on, which is a big part of masking for many of us. And I think all of us do this to a certain extent. Most of us have our at-home self and our outside self, but there's a depletion from having to really manage the sensory issues, the triggers, the stimulation, the conversation, the maybe not being able to stim, for example, during a conversation. And really what you do is you chalk this up to just being tired and fatigued. But really, it is about the fact that your brain and body are exhausted from social dynamics. Number 3, raging sensory issues.
He likes to almost show it.
Everything has bothered me, sights and smells and sounds. Smell is a huge one for me, and apparently a very huge one for many of those with autism. And that one's a really hard one to control. I'll say that again. That one is a really hard one to manage and control. Because, for example, you can turn down the lights. You can, which I may hued in the morning, no bright light at night. You can work on your fabric exposure, like your sheets, your clothes. The light's getting weird here. But you really can't stop the smell of happening. Like my kids are making some food, and it happens to be at night, and it's very triggering. Or it's you're out somewhere and
pause. When I was a teenager living at home, obviously, my dad used to wear this cologne. Smelled like burnt pork. I can't remember what. Disgusting. Nick, you would have been appalled, sir. It was a deal breaker. I didn't need to know. And I used to be eating my breakfast at the kitchen table. Yes, we had a kitchen table, and I would hear him coming down the hall, and I had this repulsion towards my dad. And I've been doing some soul searching for many years to wonder why. I don't think there's any repressed memories there, but you never know. I would scramble to eat the rest of my breakfast and get my plates rinsed and in the dishwasher and out of the kitchen before he came in, because the smell of his disgusting cologne, and I don't wear perfume. I very rarely. I can't. I have a very sensitive sense of smell. But that now looking back, I'm like, yeah, no shit. Very triggering smells.
And there's a smell, and it can be very dysregulating. So the core is, though, like you cannot often hide the dysregulation. It comes across as bitchy, as entitled, as what is the word, high maintenance, but you have to deal with your sense.
Again, pause. I feel like a lot of the guys in my wake have felt like I was extremely high maintenance because I articulate my needs and set boundaries and have very clear needs and boundaries more and more as I get older. and they interpret that as being high maintenance because, you know, a lot of women, even autistic or neurodivergent women, masking or not, tend to go along to get along, tend to acquiesce, tend to, fawn and defer to social expectations of us being compliant and easygoing and not assertive. It's shit.
Sensory world in a way that you just naturally over time try to control. And you don't really necessarily know that that's what you're doing, but that's the core. Things like sleepovers, right? As a kid, I remember thinking, well, if I can't sleep in a bed at your house by myself, I'm not going because it would just be too uncomfortable for me, things like that. The next one is masking. And of course, as I'm saying, that underlies all of this. It's a part of this whole problem, but becoming more and more aware that people are really doing a lot to get through how they want to be perceived in the world. In fact, even being perceived can be very uncomfortable. It's like, I need to be here, but don't experience me, don't see me. And or if I know that you're going to, I have to now manage what that looks like.
I can smell cigarette smoke in the car in front of me when their windows are up and my windows are up on the freeway. My hearing, my sense of hearing, and my brain registers everything, right? Everything comes into my brain. Wherever people might see or hear or smell things and it doesn't register, my brain acknowledges it all. So it's all sensory input all the time, always. So I'm aware of everything all the time, except time, which is ironic.
And I will say that I have become more and more and more myself here. If you watch earlier videos and my kids would be like, oh my God, you're not really being yourself. Like, you're doing great, Mom. And it was like, I get that. I was trying to be professional and present a certain version of myself. And I think that my clients now, I mean, I think everyone once they got in the room with me, I think I'm very much myself while also trying to hold this role, which I also think is changing as we dissect mental health and that kind of dynamic. But the point is that the masking version, the version that we present, is very different. So the Kim that you're getting now, even here, even if you look at my TikToks, which is like, it's so cringy between the filters and the things, I'm still struggling with that. I feel like I'm, for some reason, more comfortable in front of the camera than my phone. And so anyway, the point is you mask and you don't even know it because you're so used to putting on the makeup, the face, the tone, the presentation, the clothes. And like I said, we all do this, but it can be explained away and not really understood. I have a number 5. Right? These are misnumbered. Dating issues. And so a lot of issues around romance are often filled with limerence. So a lot of fantasy creation of the person, not the real person. And it can become an obsession. It's like you attach all of the meaning of yourself and value and hopes and dreams and fantasies to the person. I think this is very common in those with both trauma and neurodiversity. And I will say, I made a video about this and maybe I'm crazy, but I really feel like most people who are neurodiverse have massive sensory issues when they're engaging in intimate experiences, from kissing, holding hands to everything more. And that, you've learned to like mind over matter yourself, but it can be very, very uncomfortable and triggering. The textures, the taste, the smells, the sounds. I think that's often really hidden and not discussed. The next one is chronic anxiety.
Pause. Yes. Joey, I called for your promotion. Remember I said next stop Queen's consort? God, sir, I'm trying to get you through the ranks. I'm trying to get you to be a higher rank than Nick. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, keep doing what you're doing. This is going to be a heavy one. Not heavy, but like could be. I'm picking a song. Joey, don't pick the song. I'm picking the song. God damn it. It's my fucking channel. I had a thought today. What did I say? I said, listen to this one. It's great. It's underrated. But now I don't know. Walk and talk, chat. Maybe it's not in here. Fuck. Actually, wait. Oh my God. How about that? I can't remember what it was now. Oh, I do. It's one of those sick, cringy love songs. That's right. Are you all okay? I'm going to play this is kind of bangy. It's kind of a banger. Wait, where is it? And one's in the chat if you know who it's about. Lol. If you don't, we'll tell you. Here we go. Play.
Well.
Don't think the other night. Snake, miss the memo. Listen and learn. Due diligence. Sensibly, let's fucking go. Don't think that you're mine. Stay. You prove it every time. Except you're not. You got smarts. You know exactly what you're doing. So intentional. The queen of hearts. Propaganda that you're spewing. No apology, no duty of care. Revel in the chaos, don't you? Take off the mask, that's all we ask. Your true colors just broke you. Fake. Don't think that you're mine. Stay. You prove it every time. Power in your hands, and you're about to use it. Not giving you a pass. The power you abuse it. Definitely not benign. Stay. Prove it every freaking time. A huge responsibility. Speak with true integrity. You must have missed the memo. Listen and learn. Due diligence. Ostensibly, let's fucking go. Yuck. Hard pass.
Love. Fucking love. Yuck. Hard pass. Awkwardly, that one got out. The screenshots in the Discord. They made the link. I don't care. I said what I fucking said. Steph said that picture makes me laugh every time for so many reasons. I love it. I'm mesmerized by it. I can't understand. I want to know what app they use to get it looking so much like me. It's a way hotter version than me. I love it. The angle of the lips, the placement of the part, although I haven't done my regrowth for a long time because I'm not going to. 10-10, like 10-10. I love it. I wish that we didn't all hate each other so much. I don't hate them, but they hate me like hard. I wish I knew how they made that. If anyone knows what app they might have used to get that chef's kiss, love. I struggle with all the things. Who said they wear soft over ears? I've got over ears as well, like noise cancelling. That's a good point. I love it. I love it. I think they thought I'd hate it. I'm like, that is a good picture. Thanks. I look cute. I would have made me look so cute. I wouldn't, if I was them, I wouldn't have made me look so good in that picture. Like, I think it looks amazing. I would have made me look more ugly. There's deficiencies over there. I think they probably need, what is it? Campaign manager probably needs to be, 100% merch. Well, exactly it. They can't. What can they do? Exactly. That's why I said over ears, but probably I said taco. Taco. Chameleon. Amber. Back me up, girl. It's a great photo. It's like I'm a Bratz doll. Thanks. Yes. Thanks. I love that for us. Thanks, monkeys. Thanks, Turd. It was Turd. The song isn't about Turd. She's got her own song, but it's not that one. Ay. These funny people. Imagine living. I live so rent-free in their head. I don't even think about them. I literally don't. Like, I mean, when I mention it here, I do, but whatever. Hey, I can't find that thing we were watching because 23? Is it this one? This one. Yes. Sorry, Kim. Carry on. Lovely. So, chronic anxiety. Well, this is the last video we'll watch because, yikes, mods have been here for a long time. I've been here for a long time. You all have been here for a long time, and it's been amazing.
anxiety and depression, a lifetime of a range of anxiety and depressive responses. You might be on the higher end of being able to manage those things. In other words, you can hold down a job, but you're like white knuckling it, or there's a big facade and screen behind what you present to the world and what it looks like at home. For example, you get all your tasks done at work, but your house is a mess. Your dishes are in the sink. Your laundry sits there for weeks at a time. But the rest of the world would never think that you struggle so much to manage those things.
They made Barbie dolls of me? Why haven't I seen this? I love Barbie. I have a pink Barbie bow on each of my hip bones. They used to be bones. They're not bones now. Because I want to be Barbie. Like I am Barbie. I used to be blonde and Barbie. Did they make Barbie dolls of me? Matilda, can we please make a Miss Shorty doll? Thanks. A bobblehead using that picture as the design. Yes. Okay, thanks. Bye.
The next one is number 7. You were always sensitive and you've cried a lot. And you might have learned to stuff those feelings and repress them. But many of us, I think, I used to say years ago, I've just always been an overfeeler and an overthinker. And honestly, what changed that a little bit, and it sucks in some ways, was menopause. That the lack of hormones, in some ways, that's what that whole thing about being 50 and not caring anymore. But it really sucks, to be honest with you. Menopause, I personally think, sucks horrifically. I know I keep saying that. But
I imagine it does. You know what also sucks? Still regularly menstruating when you're fucking almost 50 and you got your first period when you were just 11. Thanks, Mother Nature. That's stupid, dumb, and annoying. I'm not going to play the song again. Well, I will for a second. But Matilda stepped away. This is what we want. This picture here. Ready? Sorry in advance, everyone. That picture on merch. And we'll use it as the doll. Fantastic. Love, love. 10-10. Meet them at the pass with all of it. Yikes. Same as Music Is Not a Weapon. Great song. Maybe I started crying in the shower today when I listened to that, though. Pretty triggering. Yikes. Then I screamed all the lyrics. Very angry. Sang them amazingly, but very screamo.
But we don't talk about it. We're not prepared for it. And I've said, without hormones, especially, but even still, it feels like someone turned the lights out on my energetic motivation to be in the world. And last year, as I've shared a little bit, I had a lot. I'm still dealing with stuff around that issue, around hormones and surgeries. And I was off hormones for a while, and it was really bad. I wasn't sleeping. I didn't feel well. And so the point is, though, that no matter what it is, there's a sensitivity to the world, and maybe things like menopause have numbed it a little bit, but overfeel, overthink, and a lot of just intense emotions that might have been misdiagnosed as BPD, for example. The next one is a history of female friendship issues. I think that friendship issues in general are hard for all of us. As we age, they get more difficult. When I look back, I was like, oh, I always had up until
I was loosely diagnosed. It wasn't even diagnosed. My cognitive behavioral therapist, CBT therapist, in the 6 to 18 months after my husband died, we started off with grief counseling, and then it quickly turned to CBT to deal with my parents and all my issues about them. And my auntie, my mother's sister, was trying to help me put some answers to the big question marks in my life. And I was 27, so 22 years ago. And sorry about the dirty pause, Dr. Kim. She thought that maybe it was borderline personality disorder, although it didn't really fit with me. Some similarities, but my stuff was a lot more mild, and there was other things. Yeah, no shit. It was called being autistic. But that.
My divorce in my 40s, I always had a couple of really close girlfriends. And yet when I look back at kind of how those things happen and what happened, I can see this trail, this pattern, intense closeness.
Laura, the last time I went to the GP, which was quite some time ago, and I said, I get migraines. I do. I don't have it lately as much, amazingly. And I'm like, I didn't used to really ever get migraines when I was on the contraceptive pill, because and this doctor, this female general practitioner, said, "Oh, no, we absolutely don't put someone of your age on the contraceptive pill." I was like, "Oh, how dare you!" So that once you get to a certain age, you can't be on the pill anymore. You got to go HRT or something.
of me becoming avoidant. As I said, I do believe that getting divorced, if you really want to understand not only who you married, if you want to know who you married, divorce them, and look at what happens to your friendships in divorce. It's really difficult, especially if you're in a high conflict situation and your friends are still in marriages,
Rude,
whether they're
right?
happy or not, just to be there for you, let alone if they're also starting to question their happiness and now you're talking about it all the time. It's hard for both of you. But the history of me trusting female friendships, I thought was only about my history with my mom. And maybe it is. But as I've looked at it more and more, I understand more and more about the way I show up, who I stay close to or not. And there's a broken trail of friendships for many of us who have, I believe, neurodivergence in some way. The next one is being deeply entrenched in fantasy worlds, right? Maybe you hide these things. Like you don't tell everyone that you watch all of the Harry Potter movies or Lord of the Rings or fantasy books that you read. And you're just a deep thinker with a preference for the stories of human beings. And so I think that we can get lost in fantasy worlds. There can be a dissociation to that, of course. There can be a sort of like a more connectedness to magical worlds and things like that from the brain, the way the brain works, I think, also in neurodiversity. But just being a deep thinker and really attached to those kind of fantasy stories. As I've said, therapy to me is a story. It's a story. Every patient is a story. Every day is a new story. The next one is a massive need for repetition. So doing things the same way. I need to get up every day and have my morning go, and it always goes within a couple of things in the exact same order. And so whether it's repetition through the way that you live your life and your day, most of us need that. Now, if you have that flavor of ADHD with autism, you can also have the ADHD part that needs stimulation and novelty, which can really interfere with that and create, I think, more impulsivity. But at the core, if we're talking about these things, and obviously even trauma too, there's a safety in repetition, but especially with autism and things like neurodiversity, I think in general, we need to be able to predict what's coming next, from the sensory exposure to relationships, expectations of us socially, things like that. The next one is secret stimming. So as I've talked about the blankie, the thread on the satin on the blankie, picking, skin picking, a lot of things that we don't really share.
Chat. I used to be the worst skin picker. It was almost like a compulsion. It was a compulsion, and it was like what it's been a long time, but trigger warning. I used to be bulimic in my teen years, and or anorexic bulimic, both. Not so much the binging, but definitely the purging. But when I used to come out of a stressful situation, often social, I had a lot of shit going on in my life. It was very hectic. It was right in my crisis years. My skin was terrible, possibly because of drugs as well, and stress, poor diet, drugs, lack of sleep. But I used to get in the car, excuse me, after I don't know, probably picking up drugs. Lol. Very good driver, just saying. And literally, because I had makeup all over my face to wear my actual mask, immaculate makeup, but underneath it, and I used to get in the car and literally pick off every single, and there were many scabs. I've always, all my delightful, sorry, but it's a fact. Skin picking, hair pulling. My mother, I'm guarantee you, my adoptive mother is neurodivergent, but she's a horrible person, so that's also possible. She used to twirl her hair. Oh my God, she used to twirl her hair so much. Her stimming. But I don't pick so much now because I think I'm more regulated. And it's awful, the feeling of people look at your face, but if I've got something, I think I'm another part of my body, man, I'll pick that shit. So and then the shame associated with skin picking, or people pull out their hair in clumps. It's all very intermeshed.
That I think that when you look at individually, they don't mean anything. It's when you look at stimming in context to how you manage pleasure, how you manage dysregulation, and the way that you've done it in context with all of these other things that I think starts to point the lens more and more towards a more neurodiverse brain. The next one is proprioception, like really being clumsy.
Proprioception. So there's some overlap in the video.
Yeah, always. Yes. I drop things, I break things all of the time. Like I probably break one.
This morning when I was trying to work out the second monitor, and I had filled up my 2 water Stanleys. They're not Stanleys, but same. And I have all my it's all lined up here. I had everything set up, and I was trying to do the monitor, and I was putting the monitor forward at an angle carefully to plug the power plug in, and it knocked the fucking water over, and the water went all over my quilted velvet stool, my princess chair. I was like, For fuck's sake, you dumb fucking stupid fucking dumb cunt. I mopped up the water and got back to what I was doing. Lol. Clumsy.
1 glass a week, if not every 2 weeks, or a bowl or a plate. I used to have, it's not as bad now. When my kids were little, I feel like you're doing more, but bruising and not knowing where it came from bumping into things. I have dropped things on my toes so many times that my feet have like permanent damage from them, as I hate to wear shoes. So I'll be like, moving into a place, hammering something on the wall. I did this one place, I had this massive painting over this fireplace. It was really heavy.
I don't think that there's such a thing as male menopause, Nick, because it's to do with the cycle of the ovaries and the reproductive system within a woman. But okay, cute. You're cute, Nick. And also Aldi cheese is fine.
And I'm
Aldi cheese is amazing, but Boston cheese best. Postal cheese, that.
such a like, I'll just do it now by myself person, but it dropped on my feet. And that has happened more times than I care to admit. So we can have a lot of clumsiness, just like bumping into things. That's very common. But by itself, you're just like, oh, I'm a clumsy person, right? The next one is really preferring to be alone and seeking refuge alone. And I think that many of us do this, as I've talked about, for lots of reasons, from our tendency to feel overstimulated, for our hypervigilant issues, having like eggshell parents where we were only safe alone. But there really can be, not that you don't always want to be alone and don't enjoy socializing, but many people on the spectrum need to be alone to regulate. And I think, like I'm saying, by itself, it can just be like, oh, you're kind of a loner. But when you look at it in a larger context, a lot happens when you're alone. You're pursuing your hobbies, you're regulating yourself, you're finding the space and peace in your own mind, you're turning off that mask, right? So that's a common one. The next one is, as I said kind of earlier, faking and lying and minimizing and masking how hard daily life really is for you, daily tasks. And I think when we look at this bill of goods we've been sold about what we're supposed to do and meditate and eat and exercise.
Princey, that's so disappointing. I'm sorry that you dropped your AirPods. I'm so sorry that they fucking broke. I remember when you got them and you were so excited. That's shit. When I break something, or when the dogs destroy something, like the dogs destroyed my favorite pale pink, beautiful laundry basket. It's hard to explain. It's a thing. I've had it for years, about 6 years. And I just had to be philosophical about it. I'm like, well, that's fucked. I fucked it. That was my fault because I left it out. Not that it was your fault that you dropped your things happen. Man, that's shitty. Maybe he'll buy you another pair. Ugh. Are they under warranty?
Exercise and be this and socialize and not isolate. It's a lot. Keeping our homes clean, especially if you don't have help. But even if you do, just the daily functioning. So you just really, maybe you lie to yourself. Like, I didn't even realize to myself how once I got divorced, I haven't really had, for the most part, it's been at least 12 years, any housekeeper, really any babysitters. And so just I'm still like doing better than most. And I do have a good life and a blessed life. But my point is that like,
It looks like she has a blessed
don't
life.
like cleaning. I suck at it. I hate it. I put it off. And my house might look picked up, but then I'd have to be like, oh, you need to clean that, right? Things like that. Living in near the beach, there's a lot of like mold issues and things like that. The windows are open all the time. So we get a lot more dust in the house, but just not really, like I'm saying, on the outside, not really admitting that even to yourself.
Really.
Like, God, I'm not really good at this thing. So a lot of faking and hiding how hard daily tasks are. The next one is highly empathic to animals. Being really driven by the injustice of the world, feeling safer with animals, feeling safer where you're in control of the dynamics of human expression and love. I think that gets, she just loves horses or whatever, dogs, she's a cat lady or whatever. But I think there's something about that we often feel truly only understood and safe with other people who are neurodivergent and especially with animals. And then the last thing is that last two things are that you seem intuitive about things, and I think many of us are.
Soft brag, yes. Colors says, my house is spotless. Half your luck. Mine is a disgusting hovel and I hate it. But I'm in a point of overwhelm and time poor, which I'm sure you also are, time poor. Everybody has different... I just have to let some things go. Otherwise, if I keep pushing, I push towards burnout. And at the moment, I'm doing my best. It's the best I can do, but I wish I had a spotless house. It would be glorious. I used to. I can only manage so many things, though.
are, but I think that oftentimes it's a hidden skill of pattern recognition and being really good at anticipating things and reading people, especially if people were your special interest, which I actually think a lot of therapists have this in addition to traumatic childhoods. And so you get really good at reading nonverbals, at making meaning, and you were
Yes,
doing that to
Joey.
also gauge how
Yes.
to respond yourself. But it can be misperceived, I think, at times as, whether it's empathic qualities, sensitivity qualities, which I also think we can have. I also think they are a response to our trauma, to our environments, to how our brains work around expectations with the world and others.
Yes.
And I think that's it.
Oh.
So I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. I think that when you take any one of these by itself, it can easily be explained as, human nuance, human differences. It could be explained as trauma. And certainly you could say, I suppose, that these things can be. The point is, no matter what it is, at the core of a neurodiverse brain, we had to adapt and make changes. And if you're born, which we know, with certain temperaments and sensitivities, right, more sensitive children to things like smell and sound and taste and noise, like sensory issues or human connection, whatever it is, and then you have trauma, it's going to make these even more complex and required to get through life. So those are what I think are the often unexplained dynamics in childhood. As I said, I literally went through a lot of the top autistic creators and went through their most popular videos from their lived experiences and said, which ones do I notice? Which ones do I notice? I have this weird way of talking sometimes. And that can also be autism. But it can be other things too, right? Just how we are. But I think that I wanted to share what I experience and what I think as I'm opening my eyes and learning more and more and watching and learning about are also true for others. So that's it for today. I hope you found this helpful. Like I said, I'm not sure about this new setup. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to make another video and talk about really this idea of seeking refuge alone and what it means for especially autistic people, neurodiverse people to need to have alone time. And so we're going to be talking about that. Once again, I am talking about, generally speaking, higher.
I have a tattoo right near my pirate flag tattoo, it's a Chinese symbol for solitude. I need solitude. I love living alone. Love 10 live alone. Yes. We love her.
Higher masking. I want to always make the space and respect for those who have different needs in terms of autism and neurodiversity, from ADHD, all of them, trauma, and not just say everyone is the same, because we really are. And many of these things create real difficulty in people's lives. It's really difficult. And so let's say, for example, if you're higher on the line of being triggered by sounds and people and events, you can have this need to be alone to manage that. But also, for example, a lot of those on the spectrum report a high degree of loneliness. And
I'm going to pause there and say, in my life, depending on how my mental health, how my state of overwhelm is, how my stress levels are, how the extraneous things in my life are, will determine how prone I am to being obsessively compulsive about things, how much solitude I need, how the level of whether it's just gentle solitude or whether I need to do a hard line shutdown and set some clear boundaries. So it's never it's on a roller coaster for me. Sometimes I need a lot more solitude. Other times I have a lot more spoons to be more capable, or to carry on the masking. What kind of doctor is she, Brit? Shall we check? She's just about finished, and I'll put a link to her channel. She's lovely, isn't she? I had just happened upon her. Lovely. I really love her style. I'll be watching more of her stuff. She could be our neurodivergence Dr. Ramani, perhaps. We'll see.
And so there are real consequences and dynamics of these things happening. And certainly with trauma, the same, right? If people are the trigger, forgetting about anything else but your childhood trauma or adult trauma, as I've also talked about, it can make wanting to be around people difficult. But also we know that some connection, and I think we all have different needs for it, is part of the human experience that so many of us are having a more difficult time with in this world now, where we are more and more isolated. So that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you soon. Take good care and have a good day.
She's a licensed psychologist. Let's share her link in the chat. A licensed psychologist. What does it say about her? Let's read. She has online courses. Licensed clinical psychologist in California. Due to licensing, insurance can only see patients in California. So basically that's an ad for her services. I think we can just watch her content, huh? Love. So I'll drop her link in the chat. Dr. Kim Sage, licensed psychologist. And she looks like a California girl. I think she's gorgeous. not just looking gorgeous. She has a gorgeous spirit about her, a beautiful demeanor. She was on 1.25 speed. So Joey likes Dr. Kim. Same. Not gay, would turn gay for Dr. Kim. How about that? Right. So Steph says, I make things with bones. It creeps people out. Alone, not lonely. Yes. I think I get a lot of my, I do, I 100% get a lot of my human connection from you all and from my, like Joey and Amber and Steph, my Princey, my beautiful friends, the coalition, so to speak. And at work, I enjoy the interactions with the actual humans, like for IRL stuff, but also I'd be like taking myself away and doing some lot of quietly alone times. Colors needs a hairless cat, so I can have a telepathic connection to Putin. Does this count? Yes, absolutely. Colors, yes, absolutely. See, same brain. So this is Dr. Kim. Yes, Joey, you and Nick both are going to be fighting it out for AJ. Coalition. So I guess we'll do a part 2. We'll try and stay on topic next time. Chat is Bay. How's this? Some exciting news. Next week on Friday, seems like maybe I'll be a guest on Justice Served TV because, you know, I am a fucking delight. Got to take these babies out of my earballs. They're a little bit tedious. Apparently, well, here's the thing. Missy said to me they can come on for 10 minutes, right? Sidebar, we're not talking about the same thing as what we've just been talking about. That Linda Barden and Michael Bryant could come on for about 10 minutes. Did you notice how long they stayed? I think they were giving themselves an out just in case it was a disaster. Fair. I know Broken Baker says with any guest coming onto his show or him going onto other shows that 45 minutes in case it's a nightmare, and then he can dip or tell them bye. I know that Joe Tacopina also changed it to 20 minutes and then stayed a fair bit longer. So I was looking at my clock the whole time going, I think I have to be out of here by 6 your time, Eastern. They're still here. So I guess they kind of love us. I guess Michael and Linda are shorties. So that's exciting. Yes. And Matilda, I'll we'll talk offline about their merch, but I think Missy is getting a proposal, some official merchy store stuff for you. Yes. They enjoyed the conversation with me. I'm quite the breath of fresh air, aren't I, Nick? Lucky I didn't drop the C-bomb at them. That would have been awkward, scandalous. I feel like Linda would, I don't know, maybe she would have thought that was hilarious. They are 100% shorties. We're also any delightful guest that comes on the channel will be giving them a choice of something from the merch store. Did you know we've got merch now? It's pretty cool. Thanks to you all who ordered stuff. Don't ever feel like you need to, but you should. Not. It's because it's pretty cool. It's because you are a fucking delight. Thanks. We're still getting fucking delight merch as well. My God, the range. Don't forget to think about. Thank you, Princey. Don't forget to think about 1 or 2 of your or 5 of your favorite lines in a Miss Shorty music song. Prob's gonna make a Miss Shorty music channel. Yikes! That's what we need. Another channel. Fabulous. Candy says, I love that you are moving onwards and upwards. Linda and Michael are famous. What? Yes, I know. I like Candy, like no shade at all. But you know, they originally had Joe Tacopina scheduled for an hour. He said he could come for an hour. So they planned the show to have 3 video people, submissions like mine. The other one was Bob Motter from Defense Diaries. And the third person was Arfie from Black Letter Law. Like I kind of felt like what they bumped them and kept me. Like I'm just some. Like I'm like I don't want to diminish myself, but come on now, I'm just some random traffic control chick from. Like I'm a savant. I'm a songwriting savant. But I'm like I don't be piling on me for saying this, but I am a relative nobody, you know, like I am. It was wild to me. I was kind of like, I'm sorry, wait, what? Like record screech, what? I fangirl girl over all of them. I love them. Candy says they made the best choice. I mean, it worked out well too because Bob was there for the verdict, and that was fantastic. So yes. Oh, Laura, thank you so much because you have a fantastic. And I put that was me. Fantastic. You have an amazing personality and are fabulous. Well, thank you. They did. They love you. Nah, sparkle in the game. Yes, thank you. So I feel that too. I feel that too. I think that she and I are similar, and she's glorious. Not that how someone looks should ever be the most impressive thing, and it certainly isn't about Linda, but she's gorgeous. I love her hair. She's so stylish. I wish I could be so stylish. I'm so much more basic than that. Steph, you're somebody to me too. I love you very much. Steph, I've got a tracking number for your parcel. I didn't choose express post and I didn't send you cheese. Apologies. I did send you Vegemite, Sunnies, that blackcurrant high smile toothpaste, unopened. If you like licorice, it's very good. Darryl Lee licorice. A packet of Tim Tams, a packet of caramel crowns, a Santa Claus Pez, because it's very seasonally relevant, Pez dispenser, a little bar of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate, which will taste different to your Cadbury, a Mars bar. So, yes, we can make a flex back T-shirt. Should it be... Wait, you know what would be funny, Britt? Matilda, pay attention. You know, it'd be funny if we used our flex back emote, that photo, and put it on the back of the T-shirt big. So we walk. Nick could have one. Nick, you could get yourself a flex back. Joey and Nick. Yes. I'm so sorry, Steph, that it took me so long. I was beating myself up about it. I felt like such a failure. So Steph won the raffle. So here's the story. Because some of you weren't around for this, but so like I had bought this bunch of stuff for I hate saying like Adam Levi Boyd, the registered sex offender in our community still, because like it was a thing. Yeah, I bought it for Christmas for him, right? And then he dumped me. And so then I had all these Christmas present things, and I was like, well, fuck, I don't want this shit. I bought him sunnies, cool sunnies, so we can match the same as my sunnies. Wait, hold on, I'll get them. Oh, look, it's gone to shit where she just gets up from the chair and walks away. Yikes. It's obviously been so many hours of streaming. Wait, I don't know which ones they are. I've got 3 of these pairs. Is it these ones black? Yes. So I bought these exact same ones for Steph. Oh, wait, take the other ones off. So cool shades, bro. Cool, huh? They're called Too Savage, the brand, and they're very good. So I bought them, and I bought, and then I had I bought him a big jar of Vegemite, and then I have the 16 or 20 nights of Shorty. I was like, well, fuck, I'm going to raffle this shit off. So the last little bit, I don't remember when it was, was it before New Year's? Can't remember, something time. Anyway, so everybody who bought, thank you, Amber, anybody who bought super chats and stuff for about, I can't remember, a lot of trauma. That was a lot going on around there. For maybe 3 or 4 nights, end of the month, I think, New Year's, something. And then I put them all on little slips of paper, which is what we're going to do every weekend from now on for merch store stuff. Yay. And then I zhuzhed it around and we drew it out, and it was Steph. And she was so excited. She was mostly excited to think about the sunnies and the Vegemite, right, Steph? And then they sat there and they sat there and they sat there. And I look at them every day going, I'm the worst human. I haven't sent these, and I couldn't take them to the work because they would melt. Half of it melted anyway. I didn't send all of it. And then Joey sent me cheese. He's so cool. And I got the delivery slip. Good night, digital. Happy birthday. Mwah. and digitally 74. What? Wild. And then I thought, well, I'm going to the post office. You know what you need to do, Lisa? No more hating yourself because you're fucking a non-coper, as my mother would call me. Pack that shit into a box. Well, it's all there, ready to go. A little box, tape it up, put a couple of free Karen Reid stickers in and a little card. Sorry, it's a bit scribbly, Steph. I didn't put my glasses on because I was rushing, but it's still. And then address it and take it to the post office. And I did it. So I'm pretty proud. And I'm thrilled. And I got cheese. And Steph's going to get the cool stuff. Nick says he's already got a flex back. So that shirt will fit you perfectly then, like a glove. Well, Laura, I just tried to put those sunnies on my face with these things on there. Thank you, Princey. So I guess what we'll do is we'll do a part 2 of this one with the other 400 videos that I have ready to go sometime. Who knows? Like, it's this bullshit going to work every day really is fucking with my jam. Night. Steph says, I've had baby formula to send to my niece for 1.5 months. I so get it. My brain read that as 15 months. I was like, ooh, I don't know if she's still going to need that. Yes. So merch ideas, send them in somehow. I don't know how you're going to get in contact with me, but you can. Hey, there's a contact form on the website. Wait, we'll just look at that quickly before we go. Because why would we finish up? God. Here, wait. Oh, there's our beautiful Matilda and the rest of the gang, Steph. Taryn, we love you. We hope you're okay. Princey? Joey? Amber? Michelle? Beautiful hair. Mysterious. She's so mysterious. But wait. So if you need to get in contact with me, you can email me or you can go to the website. And what the fuck sent me one of these? She was my first official. Matilda did a test one, and then what the fuck did me one of these? It was cool, huh? I've replied. Did you get it? So that. We're like professionals and shit. How about that? Taryn. I wrote Taryn's bio, and I did a lot of crying while I was writing it. Yes. Amber, yes. Absolutely yes. Yes. I got it. Yes. Michelle changed it from the butt to that picture of the hair. I kind of love it. I think she was, she couldn't decide. And she went with the hair. I think it's kind of cool. I like it. Like, you know what they'll think? They'll be like, no, it's just a throw off. Because Shorty, it's actually Shorty. It was really actually not. Magic. Hey, thank you so much, chat. Do we want to? We just want to finish with Chatty's Bay. Chatty's Bay. We've been going a long time. Tomorrow night. Wow, still got some work to do. Top 10 what the fuck moments from the Karen Reid trial version 1. Yes, free Karen Reid is back. Tell your free Karen Reid friends. Share it. Spread the word. Maybe we can get back on this grift train somehow. Lol. Perhaps. Don't even care about grifting. Wouldn't mind some views. Share this one out. I might have to do some more refined clips because we went off the topic just a little bit. Thank you, Joey, for the cheese. Thank you, Joey, for everything. Thank you, Shorties, Mods, and Boss. Lone Wolf. That's Michelle. And then tomorrow night at, I don't know what time, 9 Eastern, Betrayal. We're going serious. Dr. Ramani. Just one video. I know. Oh, no, I think there's 2. Gabby Petito doco is out. Yeah, can't watch it, man. I don't watch documentaries for starters because I don't like editorializing. I'll make my own mind up. But also, that's what they will say, and we love it. Let them say it. Like, let them, Brit. Gabby Petito is far too close to my heart and my experience, to be honest. So all aboard. The grifting train is pulling up. Doot, doot. Yes, and by donate, I mean by grifting, I mean donate to Karen's Defence Fund, right? We might even pull the stickers out, those scandalous stickers. Colours, I hope Bubby's okay. We'll be serious. God damn it. How am I supposed to say it? Chameleon. Is that what you're saying? Chameleon. Is that how you're supposed to say it? That's not how Boy George says it. I'm just saying. Macrame. How are you supposed to say? You say macrame, don't you? No. Tacos. Suck my dick. No, I prefer to say chameleon. I don't know why. Listen, I've read thousands of books. In my childhood, I read thousands of books. Lisa, I'm not here to entertain you. Go and read a book. So I did. So a lot of my words are purely read words. Like I said, I'd never even crossed my mind that determined. I thought it was determined and hyperbole. Every time I say hyperbole, I have to adjust and say it properly the second time. Yeah, we're back there, Rita. We are back to the tacos. Tacos. You all suck. It's lucky I love you. Yes, I know. They keep trying. They're still trying. Who cares? Let them. So that baby is okay. Okay, good. Wait. Oh, darling. Boo Bob is okay. He's sleeping, poor little love, but he's in the right place. Are you still at the hospital, Colours? Yeah, fuck. Why am I like this? Bunnings. What? Yes, Bunnings. Wait, what? Vegemite. Hyperbole. Yeah, I know. Hyperbole. It's hyperbole. I understand this. What my brain sees is hyperbole. And so it says it. And I'm like, I know that's not the word. I know that's not the word. I will die on that fucking chameleon hill, though. You guys are horrible to me. Joking. Hey, see you tomorrow night, yeah? I don't know. I'll probably have some wine. Yep, it's definitely 1 o'clock. Mwah! Chat is Bay. You are Bay. Thank you, friends. Thank you, mods. Who else are my friends? Besties. Love you. Thanks, Joey, for the cheese. What the fuck?
I love you all so very much. We had a blast just chatting and stuff. Things may have gone bit off the rails. Professional when all else fails. 'Cause chat is babe, so much to say. Emotes and all the caps out. May have been cheese, bit faster please. The time has come, Camp Shorty out. We're skating through all the tough things, learning about this and that, defense motions, prosecution, and narcissistic twats. 'Cause chat is babe, so much to say. Emotes and all the all caps out. May have been cheese, bit faster please. The time has come, Camp Shorty out. Community, just you and me. Occasionally, Buster and Poppy. It's a whole thing. Miss Shorty swing.